How are we doing there, boys and girls? Good morning, welcome in. How is everybody today? I hope you're well. Coffee up. I thought first thing this morning, it might be sensible to start with sorting Draenor out. We've not done a restock on Draenor for a couple of days. In fact, I don't think I've done a restock on Draenor since before the weekend. So we've probably got far too much liquid gold. We've probably got far too little stock of things. So I thought we'd do a little bit of a restock first thing. A little bit of a restock. I want to put an hour or so into the getting the cheat sheet up to date today. I'm trying to be a little bit more proactive with the cheat sheet before patch 9.2 launches. I want to have it, ready to rock and roll. I have a sneaky feeling that there'll be... I have a sneaky feeling that we're going to get a 9.2 release date very soon. We're getting to that point now where if it doesn't happen this week, it will happen next week. Is that kind of thing. So I want to try and be prepared for it. Mainly because I know as soon as we get a release date, that's when people start coming back to the game. That's when a lot of people start answering questions, and I want to be able to focus on, helping people out at the start of the patch. But good morning, welcome in, boys and girls. We're going to take it relatively chill today. I was actually 50-50 deciding on whether to stream or not today. I'm a couple of days behind with my YouTube content, so I was thinking about taking the day to do that, but I'm a creature of habit. I'm a creature of routine. If I don't stream, if I don't get up, have my coffee, check some auctions and stream for you guys, I feel that the day feels weird. The day feels weird. But welcome in, boys and girls. So let's see if we actually sold anything on Draenor yesterday. 47 gold is not the best start. Let's hope there's a few more hiding in the background. I should log on to one of these characters to let TSM continue doing its sync. There's a couple of things I need to, regarding the cheat sheet. I want to kind of get the, I don't think this progenitor enhancements needs any more to it. This is purely informational. I don't think there's... Maybe we might... I don't know. We might put some pricing to these, but I don't think it really makes a huge amount of difference. One thing I do want to do, though, is we've got a couple of sheets here. Things like optional reagents 9.1. Lego Bisslist 9.1. These are sheets that I think are now probably worthwhile for a bit of an update. Because nobody cares about BIS lists for 9.1 anymore. There's equally, where is it? Optional reagents 9.1. This one could do with a huge upgrade. We need to get this. I probably need to get rid of the Vestige of Origins out of here. I don't think actually having these here is really worthwhile so much anymore. Mainly on the basis that the legendary sheets themselves cover this. Although I could duplicate this sheet and have one purely for the... In fact, this information could be very handy to have in its own separate sheet for me to reference to in the main sheets, maybe. But I need to update this to showcase the new Crafter's Mark IV, the new Crafter's Mark of the Eternal, to give people a breakdown of the ways of getting it. Am I right in assuming that the new Crafter's Marks don't appear to have an alchemy option? Or did I dream that? I might have dreamt it. Let's get rid of some of these random pages we don't need. I need to check this. Crafters... No, it's got a comma in it. Crafters Mark IV? make sure we check the right one, because there have been... Yeah, Crafter's Mark 4. Oh, there is an alchemy one. First Flower and Nightshade. This is going to make... This has the chance of making the alchemy one really cheap again. Yeah, we need to put all of these into on paper. Although I don't believe that these have been material balanced in any way, shape or form yet, I expect to have to change everything. I'd rather get it in the sheet, and then if any changes happens, it's as simple as just changing a few values. But I need to get it structured in a better way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different variations of Crafter's Mark 4. So there's an alchemy, an engineering one. There's an alchemy and an engineering one. Did I never put the engineering ones in this sheet? I never put the engineering ones in this sheet. What an absolute scumbag. Yeah. I also feel that in some regards it might not be... For some of the sheets it might not be a bad idea to go with a... I might have to bite the bullet and I might have to create some universal... or global material price sheet. Yeah, I don't know. Let's sort Draenor first. Let's focus on one thing. Whoa, where did this big long boy come from? Let me get that big long boy out of my face, please. People are still buying rank 4, 5 and 6 of the same type. Hey. Hey. Other people's, you know, other people's lack of knowledge is our gain. Everything expires within 4 hours. Do I just cancel everything? I think on Draenor, over the next few days, I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive. So I might change my operations up to post things at... do I not have a master operation over here? Oh, everything's being posted at 12 hours anyway. Apart from old materials, that's fine. Let's just get everything off the auction house. Start by going backwards. Yeah, there's lots of things on my to-do list. Getting the cheat sheet in order, getting that prepared for 9.2 is quite a high requirement for me. We've worked out already what we're going to do with the legendaries. I've got the jewel crafting one, you know, sorted. The jewel crafting one looks good. I need to obviously then just copy-paste. It's not quite as simple as just copy-paste, but I need to implement that on the other professions. So that's going to be leatherworking, blacksmithing, and tailoring. I want to get the Crafter's Mark sheet properly sorted so that it shows the different Crafter's Marks and the cheapest ways of getting them, or theorized cheapest way of getting them, because of course we don't know the value of the new materials. It'll take a week or two for those to balance out. It might not be the worst idea to try and work out just how many materials are going to be needed to make these new Crafter's Marks. We saw in patch 9.0 a big demand on Desolate Leather throughout, purely because the Crafter's Marks were just hoovering up all of it. But if you look here, you can see that even the leatherworking, where's leatherworking here? Leatherworking is using 60 pallid bones and 5 of the new protogenic pelt. Ironic to see that the new Crafter's Mark for leatherworking is not using a single piece of leather. Not regular leather, not desolate leather, not heavy desolate leather, not callous hide, not heavy callous hide. Power move into the pallid bones, which will actually mean pallid bones will start selling like crazy. It'd probably be worthwhile comparing that to to the Crafter's Mark of the Eternal, considering people get access to that at the same time. Crafter's Mark. It's not Crafter's Mark of the Eternal, is it? It's Crafter's Mark of the First Ones. I'm going to constantly call it Crafter's Mark of the Eternal because it's Vestige of the Eternal. Why they can't name them the same things, I don't know. But here we can see leatherworking. So then the leatherworking's using 30 heavy desolate leather, which is the equivalent of 300 desolate leather. Which is still not that tragic. 150 shrouded cloth. They seem to be weighting the new materials. But like I said, I don't think these have been material balanced at all. A lot of the cost is going to come from this Progenitor Essentia for sure. Once we work out some maths on that one. Then it's going to be... Yeah, no lightless silk. 0 lightless silk. Damn. 0 lightless silk. 10 lightless silk being used in the Crafter's Mark IV. 0 lightless silk being used in the new one, at least currently as it stands. Yeah, 0 at the moment. There's some weird, like I said, these haven't been material balanced. Or at least I fucking hope they haven't been material balanced, because there's some real weird things going on with these. The fact the dual crafting one, for some reason, doesn't use Essence of Rebirth just feels really, really odd. That can't be a deliberate choice, surely. Thank God, never enough lightless on low pop realms. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to cause some weirdness to happen. Silken proto fiber, 25 silken proto fiber. That's basically the new lightless silk. But still, it's only 25 of it. 20 of the new ore, 25 of the first flowers, 20 protogenic pelt. Now, if our testing on protogenic pelt has anything to go by, 20 to make one of these is a lot. A lot. This protogenic pelt seems to drop at a lesser rate than heavy callous hide does. And it seems to primarily come from only the rares. Regular skinners are not going to see much of this. So your skinning bots, you can fuck off. You ain't got shit, because you're going to have to be killing the rares to get this primarily. Skinning bots are not going to have much of an easy time getting much of this, unless they increase the drop rate of it from regular skinning mobs. It's also going to be a weird situation. If they make this primarily drop off the rares, then you're going to have skinners like fighting over the tag on a rare to get the pelt. It's going to be just chaos. First flower is readily available through gathering. Progenium ore is regularly available through gathering. Silken proto fiber can be consistently acquired just by killing things. So they'll, just like lightless silk, there'll be you know, plenty of this kicking about. It's the pelt that I worry about. It's really the pelt that I worry about, which could cause some crazy things to happen, but we'll see. One thing that indicates to me very highly that these haven't been material balanced is the weird and wonderful skill requirements on them. Needing skill 201, 203, 201, 203. This is an indicator that they've pushed it outside the realms of possibility, even for testing. Which means that all of these materials will probably change. And we still to this day don't know a lot about this stupid Korthite Crystal 2.0. I still can't find them in the wild. I've still not found a single one in the wild through any method. We've not found one through skinning. We've not found one through gathering. We've not found one through world quests or daily quests. We've just not found these at the moment on the PTR. These are on the vendor, so you can buy them and craft things if needs be with testing. I've got one through herbing. Oh, that's interesting. I did over an hour's worth of herbalism yesterday and didn't find a single one. Oh, but to know that you can get them at least, that's good. We need to spend some more time on the Druid out on Zereth Mortis anyway. Material balance a day before live. Slap 150 silk on the tailoring one. Well, luckily, if we look at the reason that the lightless silk, the reason that it ended up needing like stupid amounts of lightless silk before, was because lightless silk was balanced based on NA prices. Now, even with an increase to the drop rate in 915 for lightless silk, it's still holding its ground relatively well. This is the EU. You can see the available quantity, actually. What's going on here? That's interesting. That's really interesting. I don't know what the hell's going on here. This was a glitch in the Matrix with the fact that the Undermined journal was offline for a small period of time. But when it came back online, there was significantly less lightless silk by quantities in the range of about 1 million. Alright, but the regional price of lightless silk is holding steady at about 50 gold a piece. If we compare that to the NA realms, because it's only fair to check, let's just pick area 52. Not that it makes much of a difference. We can see, even on the NA, wow, that's interesting. The regional price on the NA is basically half what it is in the EU for lightless silk, even though the quantity available is somewhat similar. That's crazy. It's never really been much above 30 gold a piece regional average over in the NA, where it's basically double that. That's really strange. That's really strange. But yeah, back in the day when it was like 2 gold a piece on NA servers, and then it went up to 30 and has stayed there. If you were buying your lightless silk back at this point, between April and July last year over on the NA servers, you would have you'd have cashed in big. Alright, let's continue with our cancels over here. Yeah, I'm hoping that they don't do a material balance like literally the day before it goes live. That's just utterly frustrating. I at the same time though, I also don't want them to do a material balance on new items like way in advance, because the more notice that people have of what's coming up, the greater chance there is of, you know, people stockpiling heavy amounts of materials. And I'm not a big fan of stockpiling generally. It tends to sway market prices more than it needs to, because people buying materials and then not using them just hides them from the market. That doesn't mean that they don't exist though, they're still there. And that's why you occasionally see these massive dumps of materials on the auction house, because somebody had bought it in quantity previously, simulating high demand on that item, you know, short term, to then only dump it all back on the auction house. For the market prices to be as stable as, you know, to be not necessarily stable but reliable, you want a steady flow of materials coming into the market, but equally a steady flow of materials leaving the market. If people buy huge amounts, that simulates heavy demand, but then they don't use them, they just store them in their guild bank for a few days, and then they put them all back on the auction house. That then simulates high demand for it, causing, you know, material prices to go up and down like a yo-yo. Not really what you want on your materials. I mean, you don't really want it on anything, but less so on your materials. Right, we're hitting the cancel throttle again here. Is this updating nicely over here? Is it getting the information it needs? Up to date. Yes, beautiful. Now I can't do my restock yet because I have mailbox full of stuff. And if I do my restock now, all it will try and do is recraft all of the things that is in the mailbox, because TSM doesn't track what's in your mailbox very effectively, if at all, half the time. Especially when you're cancelling stuff. So we need to finish cancelling off all of these auctions. What we can probably do, because we're hitting the cancel throttle, let's get busy. Let's load up yet another account. Bit of multitasking first thing on a Tuesday morning. That's what we need. It might be a double coffee day today, you know. This first coffee's gone down way too quickly. It might be a double coffee day. My insides are not going to know what's going on if it's double coffee day, though. Just double down. Yeah, if in doubt, double down. Go big or go home. Ooh, 600k from yesterday. It'll do. It'll do. Not a huge amount of sales, but that's fine. I arguably don't want to sell a lot at the moment. But people love to gamble. Look at the crypto coins, NFTs, heck, even the stock market. 99% speculation, 1% science. That's why almost every player has a flipper inside. Yeah, it's true. It's true. People are often very subject to a cheeky gamble. Uncanny Combat leather arm guards for 1200 gold. Wow, I didn't know I still had those. Those are genuinely probably still left over for BFA. That probably goes to show just how long it takes. Oh, well, actually, there we go. Expired since last sale, 93. I've had to post these on the auction house 93 times for them to sell, which definitely means we lost. I mean, it probably cost me more than 1,261 gold just listing these 93 times. In fact, I can almost guarantee it did. So we took a loss on those. Living Shoulders. Living Shoulders, a 0.01% sale rate. Once again, 94 listings without selling them. Ended up selling them for 1,200 gold. Still, at 94 listings, that is still slightly better than the 0.01 sale rate they advertise. But not by much. I certainly won't be making them again, though. Let's put it that way. What was I going to check? I was going to check Phaedron ore. Phaedron ore still at 17 gold apiece. But there's another 12,000 of it appeared. And another 11,000 of it appeared here. Wow. Phaedron bot is... Phaedron bot's going ham, you know. Phaedron bot is going ham. I don't mind if the prices stay here, though. I'll play that game. I tell you what, the Phaedron bot going ham now. Buying all this Phaedron ore is actually relatively risky. If big ifs here, massive ifs, all the ifs. But if where is it? The new Crafter's Mark are the first ones. The fact that it doesn't need Essence of Rebirth. That's not necessarily going to tank the price of Phaedron, but you know the fact that it's the one essence that won't be needed by people prospecting for this to make these. It will be the spare essence. It does mean that it probably won't have much of an effect on the price of the Phaedron itself, other than people just won't be buying it all that much. It will be purely for the Shadowgast ingots and for jewel crafting rings, Shadowgast rings. But I'm happy with my 76,000 Phaedron ore right now. I don't need any more. I really, really do not need any more. Let's considering we have 28 minutes till everything expires. Okay. On that basis then, let's do a full 4, 5 and 6 cancel before we go too far. I know I'm bouncing around all over the place again. If we had 23-hour listings, I wouldn't need to do this so much. If we had 23-hour listings, I'd be able to do the exact same thing at the same time every day, reliably. I would love me some 23-hour listing. I was watching back one of your VODs from a couple of weeks back. You were asking about Come On Buy Me's strategy. Oh yeah. People watching the VODs. My god. I mean, his strategy is pretty simple. But the thing that confuses me is what his posting operation is set up to be, because he seems to post very weird quantity of items, meaning that I assume his TSM operation is going by, yeah, some percentage of daily sold. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because he never seems to, like, post a stack. He just kind of posts, you know, like a real random number. But then he undercuts himself all the time, which is always quite funny. It goes, you can quite easily work out when he's posting during the day. Percentage of DB sold with like 125, 150, 175. Yeah. He's super greedy with his margins, but I guess it works. Well, that's it. If you're doing it at such a scale, if you're doing it at such a ridiculous scale, that the likelihood is that he's doing such across probably close to every realm by this point. Just logging on, looting the mailbox, reposting, and just rinse and repeat. Like 3 minutes a server every day. Watched most of yesterday's VOD before you went live today. I'm in the US, so I can usually only catch the start of the stream before sleep. Oh, I see. That would make sense. Yeah, that would make sense. I should really push the VOD channel a little bit more. Out of interest, I assume then Woo was watching the VODs on YouTube rather than on Twitch, because they disappear on Twitch kind of quick. I don't even think I've got a link down below for the VOD channel. I really do a terrible job of advertising the fact that the YouTube VOD channel even exists. Was Twitch just from 15 days ago? Oh, okay. Oh, well, there we go then. You should watch them on YouTube, because the channel's not monetized. You won't... I mean, not that you probably see ads on Twitch anyway, but... I think my VOD channel, I think, has got more than enough watch time for the channel to be monetized, but because it's got like 100 subscribers or something. No ads on Twitch VODs. I mean, you barely get ads on Twitch streams, never mind Twitch VODs. Or at least I don't anyway. Well, to be fair, I've not seen an ad on Twitch for years, but, you know, Turbo for the win. Greedy margins sometimes works. Lots of cloth at 6 gold a piece and leather at 9. When mats run low, they tend to sell. But this is it. Like if you're running at 300% margin on everything that you post, then you don't actually need to sell a lot. You know, this is the thing. This is like the super mega extreme version of this. Is those people that post like a single item for 400,000 gold. A single shrouded cloth for 400,000 gold. They're not banking on selling many, if any, but they only need one sale to like pay for their entire month's worth of game time. It depends how far you go. You can be super duper mega unnecessarily greedy if you're happy to get like maybe one sale a week, one sale a month. I think those 400k ones are just to trip people up. using TSM to buy without thinking. That's exactly why they're there. They're exactly why they're there. And the point is that they wouldn't continue to do it if they wouldn't continue to do it if it didn't work. You know? There is a slightly more cynical reason to why those listings are there, as they are often ways to they're often quick ways to advertise whether somebody has gold to sell on a given realm. It's kind of code. if you're looking to buy gold not through the official Blizzard methods, it is often advertised that if a certain item is valued at a certain price on a given realm, then you can buy gold on that realm. There is a slightly underground reason to why those 400,000 gold listings exist. They use the auction house as like a public display of you can buy gold on this realm. But the other side of it, and the more common side, is the fact that yes, they're just trying to snag those occasional cheeky, accidental sales from rich goblins. I do similar, but I look for a minimum 20% margin. I prefer the turnover. Don't bother with stuff that has lower than like 7% sale rate and 5 gold DB region market value. Yeah. Even FIFA had that back in the day. Yeah. These people are not, they're not dumb. They know how to advertise what they're doing in a sus way. Right, few auctions still to cancel. Nearly 300 auctions to cancel over here. Holy Jesus. Alright, sure. How so? I'm curious now. Well, it's not uncommon that if you are... Right, I need to be slightly cautious about how I deal with this, because, selling gold is against the TOS. But in many scenarios, let's talk about FIFA. Let's just use FIFA as an example so that it's not so blatantly obvious what we're going into. But in FIFA, if you're willing to sell players for real money, if you're dealing in RMT in FIFA, instead of listing your player at a reasonable price, what you do is you post it at an extremely high value with no intention of selling it, but it acts as a flag. It says, "Hey, look, if a player is being sold at a certain price, then when you're looking on the website to buy it and you want to see whether they have it available on, on the server that you're playing on, you look for that item at that price, and if it exists, then it's a flag that says, hey, look, we're ready to sell you something." They're sneaky and they're quite clever. I accidentally bought 4 million worth of flags shopping late on a Saturday. yeah. The intention is never for those items to sell. It's more of an indicator to other players that there's a possibility for a transaction to happen here. It's the unscrupulous underground market. It's how they advertise their stuff. Right, a few more cancels. I like those high value items because then my TSM posts at maximum price, which is far less than those auctions. Yeah, you can still occasionally utilize them to your advantage. Price anchoring. Now, I know that somebody is never going to look at a 400,000 gold piece of shrouded cloth and think it's a good deal. But when the next cheapest is like a fraction of that, it does have a psychological effect on people looking at the market with little knowledge. With the changes to legendaries and Cosmic Flux seemingly easy to come by, do you still think Korthite crystals are worth hoarding? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. There's no reason not. It's real simple. It's really simple. Every man and their dog is going to be in Zereth Mortis once 9.2 launches. Nobody is going to be in Korthia. Even less people are going to be in Korthia than are in Korthia now. That's going to mean the supply of Korthite crystals, apart from those that specifically go out of their way to go and get them, is going to almost completely dry up. There is still going to be great demand for people to be using the Vestige of Origins to craft legendaries. Rank 6s will still sell consistently if... like, you know, not everybody is going to be able to afford a rank 7 when they become available, and will choose to buy a rank 6 because the rank 7s are too expensive. Additionally to that, there'll be lots of players in the first couple of weeks that will come back to the game that might still that might not have played for a long time. They'll be either, you know, leveling a new ult, gearing up a new ult, getting ready. You're going to be strolling into the raid for the first time without access to a rank 7 legendary. So people are going to want rank 6 legendaries all the same. And you know, the people may even start re-rolling their legendaries again. There's going to be a huge spike in sales for rank 6s. Yeah, a huge spike in demand for Korthite crystals and a huge drop in supply. It's inevitable that having some is going to be sensible, even without looking at the, you know, the fine details of it. It's a no-brainer. FIFA changed how players are valued, all due to people selling FIFA coins for money. The botting in FIFA was most likely very profitable. There are many, I mean, obviously coming from the UK, I see this quite a lot, but there are many UK-based YouTubers that made outrageous amounts of money, and I mean outrageous amounts of money, by selling FIFA coins. And that was just them getting their, that was, in many cases, that was them just getting their commission for the referral of, you know, the people. There were actually some YouTubers out there that set up or had ownership in FIFA coin websites. Now those are the ones that made real money. Like, we're talking disgusting millionaire level money. FIFA coins was big business, massive business. It is a FIFA year, yes, but it's weird because it's in oil land, meaning that it's super duper mega hot. So I think it's actually in December this year. Otherwise, all of the players would just cook. Do you think the Soul Cinders requirement for the rank 7 will remain the same? For any new ults, you need to equip. Hang on, you need 3,300 to equip 2 max level legendaries if it's the same. That's a lot of Torghast runs. Yeah, I don't see why they'd change it. Yeah, I can't see it changing. Farmed some Soul Cinders yesterday on my main. It's really quick now. Yeah, you got to remember that you'll be able, especially by the time you get into Zereth Mortis, even if you're not particularly geared right now, you'll very quickly end up being, I want to say, item level 240 very quickly in Zereth Mortis. Which will mean then, if you're farming Soul Cinders, you'll be able to, like, literally zerg your way through layer 12 in Torghast. You'll be able to, and you get full Soul Cinders every run with no restrictions. So I mean, you can farm them up in an afternoon. It's really not a problem.
My inventory is full.
Soul Ash and Soul Cinders, it's really not a problem. Trying to sell rank 6 legendary, make some gold, but they get bought up by another player and even put at a loss or the same price that I posted them at. Hey, if you're selling them at a profit, then keep crafting. Just keep crafting. There is some people out there that are trying to put a bit of a stranglehold on the rank 6s, and there are people that are willing to flip rank 6 legendaries simply because the supply of Korthite crystals is pretty volatile. That you can sometimes go days without getting Korthite crystals anywhere near the price that you want to pay, and if that happens, then it's often safer to just buy up some cheap rank 6s and relist them, because you know your competition's arguably not going to be able to recraft them for the same price, you know, too often. Back in the early days of patch 9.0, even though I had unlocked most of the legendaries, it was not uncommon for me to buy other people's legendaries to relist, just to help restock my supply, help keep the market at a reasonable price. There's yeah, goblins out there will do goblin things. Prediction for 9.2 is Korthite crystals will spike. I'm always very skeptical. You know me. I'm very skeptical in quoting what the price of something will do, because the price depends on multiple factors. But what we definitely know, it is very clear to me, is that there'll be a lesser supply of Korthite crystals, because nobody's going to be in Korthia, not without really, really good reason to be. And yet there'll still be lots of people, potentially even more people, wanting their rank 6s still. So, you know, the demand is going to be good, the supply is not going to be good. If that leads to a spike in price on your realm, then it may happen. But like I said, I'm not a fan of speculating what the prices of things will do, because it depends on multiple things. But, you know, supply and demand tells you the story.
I can't carry more.
It's definitely a 2 cup of coffee day. The thing is, my cup of coffee is like the equivalent of about 3 cups of coffee. So if I do a double coffee day, I'm about 6 coffees deep before even lunchtime, which is pretty tragic. But I think I am going to need to do a double coffee day today. I'm tired. I don't know why. Maybe make half of the big one. Don't make half a coffee. Don't make half a coffee. That's crazy. That's like eating half a bar of chocolate, or, you know. Damn. Only 27,000 gold of sales on Draenor overnight. Boo. Boo. We could definitely do with a little more. There's no such thing as a half bar of chocolate. They only come in integers. That's such a geeky way of saying it, but yeah, you're right. Whole numbers is all that's available. What did we sell then yesterday? Anything 4 figures. A Shadow Scale Helm was the only big sale. I will answer your question, Big Chungus, because for some reason I don't know what it is you've done, but your comment has been held as a ban evader, apparently. But yes, I do have tutorials on TSM. I've got a playlist, TSM Basics, on my YouTube channel. I'd check that one out. That will give you everything you need to know to get up and running with TSM. Right, let's loot that. That's going to put us at some good liquid gold. We can probably do a restock of this whilst also having some spare cash to dump into legendaries, which is nice. My wife's work friend measures chocolate bar so that they get the right amount of calories. Jesus, if you're counting calories, then honestly, what the f are you doing eating chocolate in the first place? Either eat it or don't bother. Like, don't... Wow, sure. Alright, fine. Don't know, but my account was suspended and I never really used Twitch. Now I found myself creating another account. Alright, fine, whatever. Your comments are automatically getting filtered though for some reason. You're flagged as a suspicious user, so stop being so suspicious. Right, loads of money in the bank then. Loads of money in the bank. Look at these spikes. Every few days we go down to nearly 0. And then we have a few days of sales and we get back to where we were before we go all the way down to the bottom again. So we were at 270 previously. We're at 260 now after a couple of days of sales. You can see our turnover is good though. We're still banging out the sales on a day-by-day basis. The last 30 days we've done 2.6 million gold in sales for an average of 90,000 gold a day. Selling nearly 100,000 gold worth of stuff a day. If we can just keep that momentum going, that's like 10, 15, probably 20, maybe even as high as 30,000 gold profit every single day, just from basic recrafting. Once we get into a position with legendaries where we're actually crafting something that makes us a profit, then we should start really seeing some good numbers. But I think it's double coffee day, boys and girls, so I'm going to go grab myself a drink real quick. It'll take me a couple of minutes to brew the coffee. I might go put it on and then go get it in a minute. Oh, we're already selling stuff this morning as well. Lovely stuff. Smooth George with a play and ad. That's probably a sensible button to press. Yes, I will press that ad. I'll be back with you in a couple of minutes, boys and girls. Occupy yourselves.
Is that your wallet? Or are you just glad to see me? Both, I hope.
I forget I have this prime kicking around.
coffee machine takes forever. Oh, Trade Baron with a Prime. Thank you, my man. Thank you, thank you. I always forget I have this Prime kicking about. Hey, appreciate it. Thank you. I'm only 4 out of 6 with the Archivist, so I'll be running around Korthia come 9.2 as I collect Exalted Reputation ranks. 82 out of 90 towards the 90 Exalted factions. That's a lot. That's a lot. I don't know how many I've got, but I think on my main character I'm probably doing quite well. Oh, we've been logged out. Not quite sure how many we've got, but going from 4 to 6 is actually really not. Oh, I suppose if it's the first time you're doing it, you don't have the bonuses. Yeah, doing it multiple times is easy game, but the first time is a bit of a grind still. Just do a couple of rift runs. You can pretty much, especially on reset day, you can find rift runs where people go and kill all of the, what are they called? Famished Darknesses? Is that what they're called? The Famished Darknesses? And you can get somewhere in the region of about 2,000 catalogued research points every like 15 minutes or something. I went from hated to exalted with the Sons of Hodir rep in about 2 hours because of the 50% time walking bonus. That's really quick. That's really quick. Is the reputation's an account wide thing? I've got 80. How close am I to the next one then? No, I lie. I've got it. Oh no, I've got exactly 80. I've got exactly 80 exalted reputations. I wouldn't necessarily say I collect them per se, other than I've just played the same main character for a long ass time. So I kind of have, and I like to go back and collect recipes. So there's a good chance that I've gone back deliberately to collect some of the old ones, just purely for some old reps. Right, stuff selling on Draenor, which is good. We need to do a restock on Draenor now so that we know how much gold we've got left to waste on legendaries. And at this point, I am starting to think that it might just be a waste, but hey, it's all fun and games. So if we go Draenor and we say, right, do us a full restock, please, TSM. TSM groups blacksmithing, leatherworking, jewel crafting, and tailoring. Go, go, gadget, go. There is... Oh, that's not too bad, you know. That's not too bad. 170k worth of material cost. Of which, if we were to sell it all based on its current value, we'd double our money, pretty much, which is exactly where we want to be, exactly where we want to be. Is there any outliers in this though? Stuff we can can off that we don't really care about. Lots of jewel crafting stuff, but that's deliberate. That's because I'm actively choosing to craft and sell a lot more jewel crafting stuff as we're prospecting ore quite aggressively to get the essences for Legos. Heavy Desolate armor kits are profitable at the moment, which is nice. Okay, not bad, not bad. Let's start doing some crafting then. We're gonna need 8 Crafter's Marks of the Chained Isle and 51 Crafter's Mark 3s. Damn, that's a lot. We like double money. Money good. Money good. Money good. Agreed. I need to do some weird and wonderfuls with TSM now to get the right amount of materials needed. Because gathering doesn't work properly. I need to add 51. What is it suggesting I make these with? Crafter's Mark 3. It's suggesting I make them with leatherworking. Which I always think is a weird choice, but sure. So, leatherworking. Crafter's Mark 3. How many was it? 51. Add that to the queue. Additionally, don't worry too much about the smaller stuff. Where are we making the... Okay. Crafter's Marks of the Chain Dial are so broken it's not even funny. We're going to be making those, I would presume, at a guess. Your gathering doesn't work because your sources are incorrect. That's equally probably true. Vendor primarily, guild bank secondary. Craft it when profitable, otherwise get it from the auction house. Craft it if it's finally crafting it if it's unprofitable. How can that be rectified then? What am I missing? I'm not using alt guild bank, alt disenchanting or auction house crafting. You're missing auction house crafting. At what point would you suggest that I slide that in then? Suggest putting it between crafting, whilst profitable, and auction housing. We can slide it in there then. Auction house crafting. Auction house craft unprofitable. Will that then... let's close that, open that up again. Craft when unprofitable is totally useless and should be removed. Oh, you'll need to redo the queue. Okay, let's can that then, because you're right. I'd never really bother with that. That's now also having a bit of a hissy fit with those. Right, let's clear the queue then. Clear the queue. I'm even going to go as far as doing a reload. Not that I think it makes much of a difference, but we'll throw it in there. Yeah, Cass, I'd generally recommend just start crafting some of the more entry-level stuff, such as your catch-up gear, your basic level 60 gear. That can usually make you enough profit through crafting to eventually help you get into the legendary game for sure. I currently have it set to be guild bank, then vendor, then crafting when profitable, alt guild bank, auction house, disenchant, auction house crafting, and then finally auction house. Yeah, I don't use the alt side of things, but that's very deliberate that I don't use the alt things, because if I buy materials to do a restock and send them to a craft, I want them to stay there. I don't like shifting materials from one character to another. But I've equally laid out my my profession, so that doesn't usually happen too much. If we do a restock now, then we say, right, we look at gathering here, we select our character. It still doesn't know what to do with Crafter's Marks of the Chain Dial. These things are just totally busted. These things are just totally whack. Got around 600k liquid, need some more obviously, but was thinking about crafting a lot of the rank 1 Legos. If you got 600k now, at this point you're probably actually better off just sitting on it. Sitting on 600k right now will put you in a really good position to attack the new Crafter's Mark gear when 9.2 comes out. 600k is a really good amount of gold for dumping it into catch-up gear. When it's fresh, when it's new, but 600k gold in legendaries is really not that much gold, so it's kind of up to you. If you feel that you can take that 600k and do something constructive with it in legendaries right now, then go for it. Otherwise, I would just sit on it for a while, because when the new materials come out, you're going to want to buy a bunch of those, and the new materials when they're new are always expensive, so you're going to need a little bit of gold for that. It should tell you to gather the materials you don't own and prompt you to make the marks and vestiges as you go. Provided you have the items that you need, marks or vestiges are grouped by item level. Yeah, everything's grouped up correctly. I know that for a fact. It's, yeah, I don't know why it never gives a source for my crafter's marks. But I equally know that these things are just busted. There's some real weird things going on with the gathering. They're redoing it all anyway, so I just work around it for now. But it still seems a little bit odd. As it doesn't properly take into consideration the quantity of materials needed for these. It doesn't do the maths correctly with the gathering list is what I've noticed. And there doesn't seem to really be much of a solution. Do you know how I can get the skeleton raptor for PvP? If you want to know how to get, usually when it comes to finding mounts, if you can find it in your collection journal, in the unlearned mounts, it will often tell you where it comes from or how you go about getting it. If not, Wowhead is your go-to. But anyway, let's bang through this all the same. So we need heavy. Oh, it's telling us to craft heavy desolate leather. See, this is the thing. Like, I love the gathering module, but 9 times out of 10, I just ignore it. I usually do my own thing either way. I usually end up doing my own sort of thing. We need, right then, let's start at the beginning then. I'm not crafting 1,000 heavy desolate leather. That's just not happening. Not on this realm where I know I can just buy heavy desolate leather at a reasonably competitive price. Heavy desolate leather, 45 gold a piece, or spend 4 gold. Yeah, I would just buy heavy desolate leather. We just do that.
Let's make sweet, sweet profit together.
Oh, go on. With a conversion of their prime to a tier 1, real money. You're spending real monies now. That I definitely appreciate. Thank you. Obviously, if it's coming out of Bezos's back pocket, it's all good. But if it comes out your own pocket, double kudos to you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's grab that then. Send those over. Would you suggest just farming like a ton of gold? I know you kick about in Students and Zan's chat a lot, which obviously those are guys that are quite hot on their farming. I can't really suggest many good farming locations or spots. That's just not my thing. But you always have to do a little bit of farming. But if you've got 600k already, you don't really at that point need to do too much. You don't need to be doing too much farming at that point unless you want to. If you enjoy farming, then I'm never going to tell you to not do it if you enjoy it. But with 600k, you can pretty much buy your way into any crafting market you want, apart from legendaries. Legendaries are just like, the barrier to entry is ridiculously high by just how much gold you need. I wouldn't really recommend getting too deep into legendaries until you're willing to spend like 1 million or 2 gold on it. You got to be you got to be aware that you will lose a lot of gold at the beginning with legendaries. You got to be willing to lose a lot to then ultimately make a lot once you finish leveling. 600k, you can farm a bit more and you can buy 2 frog mounts. Those frog mounts are so ridiculously expensive. Unnecessarily so. They are quite funny though. Right, now with that in hand, that's going to tell me to buy a huge amount less desolate leather, which is good. We're going to need a bunch of... We've got 1,000 gold over here. I need 20k at least, probably more. 20k to buy some vendor mats. Hang on, let's get the right account. 20k to buy some vendor mats. Let's grab those real quick. Smart average buy, DB market, crafting, vendor buy, convert. It probably already is. I'd be amazed if it's not already. Yeah, it already is. Yeah, it already takes into consideration my smart average buy pricing. This actually causes me a lot of annoyance sometimes, the fact that it's there. I kind of almost want to get rid of this part. Even though I know that it's a good thing to have, I would still probably, at this point, prefer pricing my materials based on what their actual market prices are. But that's another one of those personal preferences. I'm a massive advocate of knowing how Trade School Master works, but being very religious about still taking your own opinion into consideration higher than that of an add-ons. The add-on should guide you in the right direction. You should make your own final opinion on what you do and why you do it. And as long as you understand why you're doing something, then it's fine to do. But yeah, you've got to have that basic, maybe slightly higher than basic understanding of how TSM works before you can start doing that. Right, so leatherworking crafts is what it's going to get us to do first. We need to buy a few bits and pieces though. We need some callus hide. Over time it got very skewed. Yeah, it does. This is the thing. This is the kind of reason why I'm thinking about just getting rid of it completely and pricing things or valuing things based on market prices. Playing on such a ridiculously high population service Draenor is, the market prices are actually quite stable. And so it's almost more sensible for me to use percentage of market prices rather than my own smart average. Or I could be really clever and start doing custom price sources to find a happy medium between the two. But that's a little bit more than I really need to be doing at this point. Callus hide, 50 callus hide. We don't buy 50s of things, that's just silly. Curing salt, we are not buying curing salt off the auction house. This is why you should never blindly follow what it tells you to do. There is no way I'm buying 700 curing salt off the auction house. 200 or something desolate leather. I mean, unless it happens to be less than 7 gold. What? What? Hello? What? Why is curing salt up here? Isn't curing salt like 7 gold a piece? Isn't curing salt one of the expensive ones?
Always in stock.
Curing salt's one of the expensive ones. Alright, sure. Maybe I will buy it off the auction house. Fucking idiots. Alright. I suppose it's good reason to check. Good reason to check, I guess. Sometimes you win. Was that a curing salt vendor in Ardenweld? Yes, it's not on. It's on the tailoring and leatherworking supplies. All the time I was trekking to Orgrimmar for it. Yeah, not necessary. Not necessary. I must admit, I only found that out recently though. It worries me that my... Hang on. Crafting. Sorry, reports, materials, curing salt. I've got it hard-coded to 7 gold 20 anyway, that's fine. It's nice to know that TSM knew that it was going cheap on the auction house though. When you like sleep a bit too much and delay postings for 3 hours. 3 hours of missed sales. Slacking. Slacking. Try harder. Okay, now I do need to buy the rest of the curing salt from the vendor, but I equally need more gold again. I assumed I probably would. What do we still need? We need some pallid bones and we need some lightless silk. So let's go pallid bones. How many did it say we needed? We needed 2,000 pallid bones. And we need 200 lightless silk. That should be our materials, at least for the short term. That's why I don't set hard values for most materials. I still see no reason to not set the material price to a hard-coded value. If gathering still will tell you to go and buy it off the auction house if it happens to see it on the auction house. But the last thing you want is it to revert to some highly inflated price. You know, hard coding your material price doesn't make any difference to what you then value it when you auction it. It should be built in. For the exact same reason as you should never use DB min buyout, but in reverse, if that makes sense. The fact that you can always guarantee that you can get that material at 7 gold 20 from a vendor. Because you can always guarantee that you're going to get it at that price, it's a very fair usage of hard-coded values, in my opinion. For most materials, no, hard-coded values are a tragic idea, but something from a vendor, you probably should. Hello, wife. Hello, dog. I can't hear her. I've got headphones on, I've got music playing, I'm streaming. Alright, where's me mail gone? Gimme. Did I send that to the right character? Oh, I did. Phew! Am I correct in assuming that when I click restock, let's say for Dawn crafting, the cost/profit is not correct because TSM somehow doesn't know how to calculate the correct things for the crafter's marks? I feel like every time I do, once I finish collecting the list created, there's new things added in there. There's a couple of reasons to why that's the case. One is that TSM is just funky with these crafters marks. It was really crowbarred into the add-on. It was not natively designed for these crafters marks to be a thing. They've been crowbarred in as a quick fix until they redo the gathering module from the ground up. I mean, it is quite clearly stated as an estimated cost and an estimated profit. The key in that is estimated. You are not. It's not going to cost you exactly this, and you're not going to make exactly this. These are guesstimates. So that there is some, there's some sway in that for sure. It's probably not worth me going into too much detail to why, but consider them estimates all the same. The gathering list, yes, when you start crafting some of these crafters marks, you will probably start to see more materials popping up in your list that it didn't account for the first time. This is just a slight frustration with TSM. I've not been able to find any significantly convenient way to get around it, but that's because crafters marks were crowbarred into TSM in the first place. When we get a new update to TSM, 4.12 is where we should start see. In 4.12 for TSM, there'll be an overhaul to the gathering and the gathering and the materials gathering and all of that sort of stuff. So just kind of work with it as it is for now, because it's the best that we currently have, but be aware that it is being looked at and changed going forward. I need more curing salt. I need some pink dye technically, but I'm not going to bother with pink dye. Now it's at this point I should probably craft up some stuff. We still need some heavy callus hide, 71 heavy callus hide. Let's grab that real quick, as that's an expensive one. Heavy callus hide. How many did I say we need? 71. Let's just buy 80. It's worth having some spares. Right, now we can start churning through some of these. My favourite is when you buy all of the materials and then it swaps what profession you want them to craft with. The reason it does that is because it is sort of smart. It's almost smart enough to work out that, right, you should be using the cheapest one. But the reason that happens is because when you've rebought a bunch of materials, it's had an impact on your smart average buy price of that material. And what is ultimately happened is that that change in smart average buy price has affected the material price, and when they're summed up, it's then made that craft more expensive than the other one. It's when you have two professions where the prices are very, very similar, that it might flip-flop from one to another. You can obviously, at your discretion, then decide to go against what TSM suggests because you've already bought the materials and just craft it the way that it originally suggested. There's going to be very little difference between the actual resulting crafting costs when you do that. So this is just one of the quirks that you have to learn to get used to with TSM. If the task list is updating as you craft, then that might have been because you were missing auction house crafting. It should no longer behave that way. Your results may vary. TSM should then shop and then craft. It's yeah. There's. I mean, I know that I'm by no means perfect with my usage of this, but at least the way that I tend to utilize it most. I like I said, I always consider the trade skill master is the tool for me to it allows me to do what I want to do quicker and more effectively, but I still remember at the back of my mind that it is the tool for me to do things. You don't expect the hammer to, you know, do the job for you. You have to still be in control of the hammer. It's the same sort of theory for me with TSM. If you know if you know at least roughly how it works, and you're paying close attention to what's going on anyway, don't feel, you know, don't feel that you have to do what TSM tells you. I tend not to have the gold that you elder goblins have, but I am guilty of being labelled a crafter goblin because of my guides. It's a burden. yeah. Well, I'm a self-professed crafting goblin. I go out of my way to not farm. if I can avoid farming at all costs, I will avoid farming at all costs. I'm of the belief if you have liquid gold that you're not spending on something else, you might as well spend it on buying materials and save yourself the time. See, now, for example, it's claiming I need yet even more heavy desolate leather. It's now claiming I need another 148 heavy desolate leather. And that's probably because a whole bunch of it was used in creating these crafter's marks that for some reason it wasn't accounting for first time round. I don't know why. But now we'll buy another 150 of it. I equally know that I do enough crafting that if I buy too many materials, it's not the end of the world. Because, I mean, I'll just use them next time. It's fine. I'm as much as I like to have a quite tight setup for things, I am very lazy in my approach to many things. Especially at this point, and that's because I don't care so much about these things, because I know the profit in them's good, right? If you look at if you open this, and you see these two numbers at the bottom, and your estimated profit is like only a fraction of what it's going to cost you, you then need to be a little bit more focused on what you're doing, and you need to micromanage it a little bit more. I'm a little bit more slapdash because I know the potential profit is so good that if it costs me 1,000 or 2,000 gold more than this, and I lose 1,000 or 2,000, it doesn't matter. Honestly, it doesn't matter. It's not worth the stress. It's not worth the time or the effort. Just get it done, get it crafted, and go out there and sell it. It'll all balance itself out eventually. You really don't need to like micromanage it too much. Just let it do its thing and you'll be fine. When you're sat on millions upon millions, you end up getting pretty lazy. But you've afforded yourself the ability to do that. It's laziness through effort, right? You don't have millions of gold without putting in the effort to begin with. So once you have done it, you've kind of afforded yourself the ability to be a little bit more lazy. I'm poor, but accidentally, because I bought 24,000 Shadowghast ingots instead of the 2.4k. That extra 0 was quite expensive. Yeah, in that scenario, that's a bit of a boo-boo. But it's quite... I mean, at least you have a story to tell, right? We've all done it, don't worry. We've literally all done it. Right, let's get these banged out nice and quick. Let's get these relisted. And then see what we have left over to waste on legendaries. We've unlocked rank 3 in jewel crafting for both the ring and the neck. So it'll probably be nothing more fancy today other than crafting maybe a few rank 3s just to get some experience. Weirdly, I didn't have too much problems. I think if I look at my LST over here, I don't think I had too much... Yeah, I've sold the rank 3s that I crafted. So I didn't have too much problem selling them. I still haven't sold the rank 5s. No surprises there. But we actually had more success selling the rank 3s. So I'll probably, even though it doesn't really seem to make a huge amount of sense, I'll probably just craft a few rank 3s, sell them at a loss, just to quickly get some turnaround on the experience to hopefully get to rank 4 sooner rather than later. I'm almost at the point where I'm starting to think what I might focus on next as a profession once we've got jewel crafting done. It makes sense for me to do blacksmithing next. Simply because blacksmithing is paired up with my jewel crafter and it's all on one character and it's just convenient. But I equally know that blacksmithing can get quite expensive to level up. I'm almost tempted to go in the opposite direction and just do tailoring, just bang tailoring out. Or I might just sit on my laurels and just cash cow jewel crafting for a little while, get some bankroll ready. Maybe it might be sensible to max out jewel crafting, then to just cash cow maybe 500,000 gold, so that once 9.2 lands, we've got some capital to maybe dive into the new crafters marks quickly. I'm not quite sure how we're going to continue progressing on Draenor. I think I'll play it by ear a little bit, see how quickly we can get jewel crafting max though. I've sold surprisingly many rank 1s through till 3s. See, they all sell. This is the thing. There's sale rate. My sales data doesn't lie. You can sell all ranks of all legendaries. The problem is you can't reliably sell them for a profit, which is what people obviously want to do. But the ranks 1s through till 3s are at this point not a market where you should expect profit. It'll be the 5th Sunday in a month before you get profit on a rank 1 through till 3 in most cases. Heavy armor kits, we'll craft all of those in a minute because they're a bit more time consuming. Let's do the tailoring stuff now. Let's get all the gear crafted because then we can send that over. We can get the gear being listed whilst we're making the heavy armor kits in the background. What I might actually do, just real quick, is just see if there's any... buy up some Leystrite ore. We're going to need to prospect some Leystrite ore for many reasons. For the essences and for the gems, believe it or not. Because I'm actually, weirdly, running out of gems, would you believe it? I'm selling 200 item level crafted gear quick enough that I'm actually running out of gems. Wild situation to be in. Means I'm not prospecting anywhere near enough. I leveled 15 slots a few weeks ago and I've sold probably 2/3 of them, but that's but I'd be surprised if I got 10% of it back. Yeah, exactly. Like I try to do my best to explain to people that the early days of legendaries is expensive. I put out a couple of videos recently on the YouTube sort of just saying that, look, the legendary market is still ridiculously profitable at the top end, but you have to be aware of the cost to get there. You have to be aware that you're going to put a couple of million gold just in the bin just to get going. But if you're willing to do that and you're willing to take that risk, there's so few people that have access to the top tier legendary crafts that it's massively profitable market once you get there. I mean, we looked at it, what was it? I can't remember when it was. It might have been Friday. We looked at it, or even yesterday. I don't know. I can't remember. We looked at it recently that there's like literally 0.03% of the player base have access to Bone Shatter Wasteguard at rank 4, for example. Literally 3 in 10,000 people have the ability to craft that item. Yet there's still people out there that want to buy that item on a regular basis. So made about 30 mil profit since October, so I was fine with the loss. Yeah, exactly. This is it. If you've cashed in other areas, then yeah, it's that risk becomes far less of a risk if you're sat on a lot of gold already. Notice from Amazon that my delivery will be any time today up until 10 PM. Guess it means I've got to hang about all day. Amazon love to do that, don't they? They love to do that. Oh yeah, we'll deliver your package like at some point this month. Oh, thanks Amazon. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. Alright, let's get those heavy armor kits on the go. While we're getting those on the go, we can loot all. In fact, let's send all this Leystrite over to our jewel crafter to begin with. In the same boat now, leveling up all of the remaining slots, but I can take that 5 million loss. See, this is it. This is it. This is why I recommend that it's a tough pill to swallow for many, but quite frequently somebody will say that they have, you know, 200, 300, 400, 600,000 gold, something along those lines. And they really don't want to hear that that's not enough gold to get into the legendary market. But I'd rather tell them the truth and then, you know, than tell them, yeah, that's fine, just go for it. And then 2 days later they come back and they complain that they've lost all their gold. The barrier to entry is quite literally gold with the legendaries, and that's why the system is just gross, right? There should be some other way to do it than just having to be a millionaire in the game already before you can even, you know, compete. But I didn't make the game. I just try and help people make more from it. What would you do if there was literally 0 hide on the auction house? Well, after I stop crying, I would probably wait until there is some. There's literally nothing you can do. If there's literally zero... Well, for starters, it's Tuesday, so that doesn't surprise me. Many people do their restock on a Tuesday because we have reset day on a Wednesday, and Wednesday is when you sell things. Equally, even if people are not doing a restock on a Tuesday, there's also the likelihood that people just buy all of the materials so that other people can't do their restock. That's equally a possibility. Not so much a possibility on the really big servers, but high pop, medium pop servers, that's going to happen. Motivate some guild members to go farming for you. Well, that's, I mean, good luck with that. But yeah, that's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Had 400k, spent it all, went down to only 10k. Up to 200k again after a week. That's not too bad. If you can keep that, turnover's king, right? You got to push turnover. When you're starting, turnover is king. Don't worry so much about min-maxing your profit. Just craft things and sell things as fast as you can. The faster you can do it, the faster you can sell something, the faster you get your gold back to then spend it on crafting again. That's the blessing of crafting, that once you have the pattern to craft something, there's no limit to how many times you can recraft that item. You have the knowledge, and so what you actually want to do is to put yourself in a position where you can recraft and sell that item as many times as humanly possible. So you really squeeze it for all it's worth. The fact that it's 15 of each rank instead of 5 at this point, it should have been nerfed since the base items are useless at lower ranks. But since they're not, and if they were truly useless at lower ranks, then they wouldn't sell. But they do, they just don't sell for the money that people want to get for them. This is the thing. And it's equally quite misunderstood just how the leveling works. You don't stop gaining XP from one rank when you learn the other. I know it's probably... I'm not going to go as far as to say it's partly my fault, but I know my cheat sheet doesn't do enough to indicate to people just exactly how it works. But the point is you need 450 experience in any given pattern to reach rank 4. How you go about getting that experience, though, is entirely up to you. If you're trying to do it by crafting the least quantity of items, then it's 15, 15, 15. But if you're trying to do it in the most cost-effective way, it might be in a weird situation, right? You could potentially even go as far as to craft, what is it, like 90? You could craft 90 rank 1s and still unlock rank 4. You would still, by crafting 90 rank 1s, gain enough experience to unlock rank 4. If you're, you do the maths and work out that, well, okay, to do that, it's going to cost you, however much. So yeah, you could do it in different ways if you wanted. You could make it cost you 136,000 gold to craft 90 rank 1 capes. Or you do 15, 15, and 15, craft as fewer items as possible, and it costs you less gold. But if you can more comfortably sell the rank 1s closer to what they cost you, for example, then that might be a viable option. People just do the 15, 15, 15 because it's kind of what's publicly advertised as the way to do it. But yeah, you should, and this is why using add-ons when leveling up is probably not all that sensible, because there are things that you need to take into consideration when leveling your legendaries that an add-on can't tell you. And like I said, another good reason to go by the theory that an add-on is the tool to allow you to do what you want to do. And when you get past rank 1, you then get choice. It's like, well, do I use a vestige to make a rank, do I take the rank 2 pattern and make a rank 4 by putting a vestige on it? Or do I just craft and sell a rank 2? You got to kind of put some thought into it. And you can minimize the damage if you spend a bit of time trying to, you know, work these things out. That's the only thing I like about the legendary market, is the fact that there's not really any one right answer on how to do it. Apart from the fact that you just have to craft 15 rank 1s, but even that's changing in 9.2. With the new Vestige, you'll have options literally from the very start. You'll be able, in theory, the new Vestige that gives you +3 ranks means that you can just learn the profession and arguably start making rank 4s straight away, which are more frequently or more commonly sold and sold at a profit. There's a little video, it's a highlight video in fairness, because most of my videos are nowadays, but there's a video coming out in a day or two which talks about the difference between using LST and TSM for legendaries, which I think will be quite helpful for people that didn't get to see it evolve live. Right, if we finished making those, let's get those sent over then. Okay, it tried to send them, but it didn't again. This was meant to be one of those, oh, we'll just do a quick restock, and it's, you know, an hour later. Actually, before we move over, let's see if there's any vendor mats we're going to need. We're going to need lots of flux. Lots of flux. Luminous flux times lots. We're making 70 crafters marks with dual crafting. That's going to mean that we're probably going to need a chunky amount of malleable wire and lay strike settings that aren't currently on this list but probably should be. So let's buy up some. Let's go as far as to buy up. We're gonna need. What are we gonna need? Well, we only need 200 of this apparently, which I think is not right, but sure. Let's buy 1,000 of these, and probably 1,000 of these as well. I'd rather have too many of these than not enough and have to log back over.
Come visit me again.
Not learnt the Shadowlands Lego recipes yet, so I don't know the answer. Does it mean that the new Vestige with rank 1 crafting rank 4s will also give you the experience, Lego experience for rank 1s through till 3? You gain the experience of the base recipe, regardless of if you use a Vestige on it or not. So if you're using the rank 1 recipe, you always gain 5 experience. If you're using the rank 2 recipe, you gain 10 experience, and if you're using the rank 3 recipe, you gain 15 experience. Putting a Vestige on it doesn't make any difference to the amount of experience you get. It will obviously only change the base item that's then created. Right, let's change characters real quick. If you like it, then you should have put a Vestige on it. Copyright. No, the experience you gain by crafting something is fixed to what the base recipe that you're using is. In theory, the reason you're going to use Vestiges on lower levels is not to gain experience quicker, but it's a way to give you an item that is more likely to sell. It's allowing you to create higher quality items using lower rank recipes. And it's, you know, as we've had these Vestiges, it allows you to do that quicker and sooner. Like I said, in patch 9.2, in theory, you can start making rank 4s like literally day one. Whereas, you know, only one patch ago, if you wanted to create a rank 4 item, you had to get to rank 4 in the first place. So it is kind of a catch-up system. But the problem is that it's only a catch-up system when the price is right. And the price hasn't been right on Korthite crystals for so long now that it's not really a very effective catch-up system. Which is weird, I should say. Weird and frustrating for those trying to use it. We need to make some Shadowgast ingots, we need some shaded stone, and we need some lithium. But outside of that, we should be able to make most of this. Let's grab some lithium real quick then. How much did we need? 113. Shaded stone 72. Anything else? No, wrong account again. Where are we going? Where's he gone? There he is. More Leystrite ore. We just opened that. We've got that right. Okay, that should be our shopping done now, in theory. When do you get the new vestige in 9.2? It's awarded. It's a campaign reward. It's either chapter 4 or chapter 5 of the campaign. The order of the campaign quests on the PTR, I don't think it's been finalised. But it's appearing to be either chapter 4 or chapter 5. Which will be either. You get the first 3 chapters of the campaign in week 1 straight away. Because the first 3 chapters are kind of like the tutorial or the introduction to Zereth Mortis, unlocking the systems out there. Chapter 4 will come out with the first reset, and chapter 5 will come out the reset after that. It's going to be one of those weeks where we'll get access to the new vestige. Maybe I'll make these Shadowgast ingots real quick. Let's bang these out real quick, and then we can make the rest of the stuff. Whilst that's happening, we can post these heavy desolate armor kits. Why is nothing happening? When will the price be right, Bruce? A cheeky Brucey bonus on it. Bit of a Brucey bonus. All rank 6 Legos will still be selling. Yeah, the demand for rank 6 Legos is not going away. It's, if anything, it's increasing. Right, Shadowgast ingots are a go-go. No, because apparently we now need more Oxane and Solid ore. Of course we do. Right, let's buy some ore then. Oxane ore. Oxane ore and Solanum ore. We haven't got much gold left to invest in legendaries, you know. Oh, no, that's because we've just spent 60,000 gold on Leystrite ore. That's fine. We've already spent a bunch. That's fine. Don't panic. Don't panic. That remaining gold is left for arboreal shards. We're all good. We're all good. Calculated. Don't panic. going to run out of bag space again. In fact, we've got a whole bunch of gems kicking about. I must have done a whole bunch of prospecting at some point. Good. That should mean we have enough gems to do what we need to do right now. Meaning any prospecting we do is going to be purely for the essences, for dumping into Legos. We are down to only 33 Essence of Torment. That's going to be the bottleneck for us on the rings. I'm hoping all these intermediates will not present any more materials that we need. I don't think it will. I think we've got enough malleable wire and enough lace stripe settings for it all to work nicely now. We're probably going to need to craft up a whole bunch more Shadowghast ingots, actually. In fact, yeah, we're absolutely going to need to craft up some more Shadowghast ingots if we want to craft some legendaries. We want to, because we're missing, we need to craft at least a couple of rank 3s. If the price is right, we might craft a couple of rank 4s. The price is not right. These profit and loss are going to be based on actually knowing the pattern, which we don't. Vestiges are too expensive still on Draenor to cheese cheap rank 4s, unfortunately. Rank 3s, we'll craft a couple of rank 3s. Actually, at these losses, I'm willing to dump most of my materials into rank 3s because I get 15 experience for crafting a rank 3, whereas I'd only get 5 experience for crafting rank 1s, even though I technically lose less gold on each rank 1 sale. On a gold per XP basis, the rank 3s are actually the most viable option for me right now. I've still got both my rank 5s that I crafted a while ago. We've not been able to shift those. And obviously we haven't unlocked normal rank 4s or normal rank 6s yet. Oh, hang on. Let's get those done first. Quick question about the 9.1 Korthia campaign. If I finish it on a main, can it be skipped on Crafter Alts? No. You can only ever skip the first 3 chapters. Any updated info on the PTR of the 9.1 campaign is required to get the 9.2. No, it's still a little bit in the unknown. If I find out for definite, I will make it very publicly aware. I will broadcast it through the internet when we find out if there's any definites. But I'm going by the theory of that it's better to have done it and not need it than need it and not done it. Not that the 9.1 campaign takes a long time to do. It's just something that you're not going to want to do once 9.2 is launched. You're going to have, you know, a whole slew of new things to do with 9.2. The last thing you're going to want to do when that releases is be going back to do the 9.1 campaign. Whilst now, arguably, there's not really a lot of stuff to be doing. You might as well just, you know, bang out the 9.1 campaign. Even, you know, do it in a few sittings. That you don't have to zerg it in one go. But just get it done. Because, honestly, it's better to have it done than not. This is only really for those that are looking to... This is only for those that are looking to craft legendaries in 9.2 anyway, so... Just bang out a chapter every couple of days or something. Yeah, it's really not... The annoying thing about the 9.1 campaign is that you're not really doing a lot in it. There's lots of fly here, fly there. You end up going to Revendreth like 3 times for no reason whatsoever. There's lots of chapters within it that just sends you to different areas. You're just traveling. It's all travel time. It's just something that you just need to do. Just get it done. Like I said, I don't think that you're going to need to have it done. But it's 50-50. In 9.1, to progress any further than Chapter 3 of the 9.1 campaign, you had to have completed the 9.0 campaign. That was a restriction in 9.1. Blizzard love to just copy-paste things. It would not surprise me if that becomes the same restriction in 9.2. Right now, the Zereth Mortis campaign doesn't require Korthia campaign to be complete, though. True, but it's a very easy thing for them to implement, you know, last minute. They might have it, you know, set so that you don't need it purely because it's a test zone and they want people to test the campaign. It's a very easy restriction for them to just, you know, drop in last minute. I mean, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. This is the point. I'm just saying, I'm making it, it's entirely optional. I'm just saying, in my opinion, it's better to have done it and not need it than to, out of the blue, realise that you need it and that you haven't done it. So... There's no renown increase as well, so they could still add it. It's hard for them to not add it, considering this is the last patch of the expansion. Yeah, it's also true that, you know, the last patch of the expansion, they kind of opened the floodgates and let people do, you know, just everything really easily. But we don't know. This is the thing. You don't know. It's all guesswork. The PTR is not really the best for... You know, this is why I delay a lot of my testing on the PTR until quite late in the development cycle. Because, you know, as we've seen with many things already in this PTR, when it first hits the PTR, it changes 2 or 3 times before the live version, before it goes live anyway. So, you know, this is why I've been quite shy on producing PTR-based videos. Because I've equally seen many other content creators have to do, like, in the same week even, you know, they put out a video and then literally the next day something changes and then they have to release another video telling everybody that it's changed. Now, sure, that's great for their viewer numbers, but it's not actually all that helpful to people watching the content. I'm trying, it's not always easy to do, but I'm trying to wait till I at least feel something is relatively solid and there's not much with it that could change before I publicly talk about it in a YouTube video. On stream, we'll talk about whatever. We'll you know, stream's a different ball game, but on stream we'll talk about whatever and we'll talk about it when it's fresh. But in YouTube short form video, I like to keep it, and you know, I'd prefer to put out a video that's a concrete and then people can watch it knowing that this is probably the way that it's going to be. Have to wait until the release candidate version of the PTR and then you only get 1 or 2 weeks notice. The irony in that is that we've had release candidates that have then been different once the game's gone live anyway. It still doesn't really mean a lot. Their tag of, you know, calling it a release candidate is still doesn't mean that you're not going to get day 1 patches. They love making 11th hour changes. They absolutely do. Absolutely do. Just sold Enchant Neck Gift of Haste from WoD. Crafting cost is 85 silver. It's sold for 1200 gold. Wow. Some people buy crazy things. Profits like that, I can list it more than 1,000 times and not worry about list fees. I've not cared so much about list fees for years at this point. If you're doing stuff at scale enough, you just don't have to worry about them. Hey! We need more lithium. Surprise to nobody. We even bought more lithium than we needed in the first place, and yet we still need more. How many was it? I don't know. 28. Right, that should, in theory now, mean that we can craft everything that we need on our list. And then whatever's left is going to get dumped into Legos. There's not a lot left, but we should probably be able to make a couple of rank 3s all the same. A lot of these materials will disappear in a second once we craft all of this anyway. Actually, I think I want to get the blacksmithing crafts done out of the way first. Oh, derp, where's my anvil? Go. Yeah, the undocumented changes are the pain in the arse ones. I can't believe a company the size of Blizzard's, after 17 years of developing a game, are quite definitely one of the worst companies when it comes to documenting changes to their game. Like, honestly, they are terrible. Their patch notes looks like they're wrote by some donut boy the day before. It's like they're just the patch notes don't even look like they're wrote by a developer. They look like they're genuinely wrote by just some PR person who hasn't got a clue about what's going on in the first place. I find more interesting things end up being undocumented changes. This is why the first thing we usually do when a PTR patch comes out is just log on and look about. Then you just look about, because you'll always find stuff that doesn't make it to a patch notes. It's really frustrating that that's the way that you have to kind of, you know, find things out. But bought 3,000 heavy callus on Draenor yesterday for crafting. Accidentally reposted it and sold it. Made 25 gold profit, but still now I have to buy even more. Hey, profit's profit. Profit is profit. I'm not able to bankroll that kind of purchasing just yet. One day we'll get there. With the news we've got lately, they're basically just a frat house. Well, I think that was probably the case a while ago. I think things have, at least I would hope things have settled down a little bit recently. You can always hope, right? They were just written by marketing. Well, the PTR is blatantly just a PR piece in the first place. It's so obvious that they're like literally a couple of weeks ahead all the time of the PTR stuff. The only stuff that they ever make public on the PTR is stuff that they know that they've either changed already. They're not looking for feedback on the PTR. The PTR is there really, if nothing else, just to gauge the overall opinion of like new systems that they implement, so that they at least have some time to maybe tweak or change it before it actually goes live. But for the most part, the PTR is just a fancy way to get some free advertising. I'm quite cynical about these things, though. I'm not going to lie. I've played this game for too long to be overly optimistic. We read and ignore all feedback. Sometimes it looks like they ignore stuff, though, because they've already changed it internally. They've already, and this goes, you know, what we see and then what the public perception of what we see often looks like they're just ignoring it, but in reality they've already changed it in their internal builds anyway, and hence why they then don't really say much about it. because they already know what they're doing, or it's a touchy subject, which was a decision that was made by the accountants and not by the game developers, and so they actually have no choice in leaving it the way that it is. You plan to have Lego set up on Draenor, Torin Mill, and Sylvanas ready for 9.2, or want to expand to others during 9.2? Well, getting up and running with Draenor is going to be the long game. I'm already fully set up on Torin Mill and Sylvanas, so they'll be the two realms that I'll be pushing legendaries on. Draenor, though, is just like a bit of a side hustle, a bit of a work in progress. I was contemplating just transferring like 10-15 million over to Kazakh, because that's the other big realm in the EU. I was tempted to just Zerg level Kazakh, but I don't really want to put more on my plate. I bet they end up treating most reports kind of like change.com. There needs to be like 200 plus reports for them to actually take a bug seriously and consider changing it. Yeah, it's probably something similar to that. That wouldn't surprise me. You'd love the prices on male Legos on Kazakh. I imagine Kazakh and Draenor end up being, you know, very, very similar. They're the two big Horde realms. Twisting Nether, Torin Mill are also up there for sure. But it's Kazakh and Draenor that are the big ones in the EU. And I would imagine that they kind of end up being very similar. My goal for Shadowlands was to be gold capped on 5 realms. That's kind of what I wanted by the end. I don't think we're quite going to get there. Mostly because expanding onto a 4th and a 5th realm is quite time consuming. And I also know that once we get into patch 9. I'm probably not going to play patch 9.2 for all that long. I'll milk 9.2 for the early days. But I'm going to be very incentivized very quickly to be doing other things. I'm hoping I'm going to keep all of my fingers and all of my toes crossed that I can work my way a alpha key, or at the very least an early beta key for the next expansion. And if that becomes the thing, if I can get access to the new content relatively quickly, I'll just stop playing retail. I'll just switch retail off at that point. That's kind of what I did at the tail end of BFA. I went months before Shadowlands' launch without ever touching retail. I was just entirely focused on what's next. Depends on how you do it. You kind of bottleneck yourself by doing it from scratch versus transferring with appropriate mats. Yeah, well, Draenor was a content piece for me. The reason I deliberately bottlenecked myself was because I wanted to replicate that starting from fresh experience. But yeah, if I was going to then, now I've done that and documented it. If I go to another realm, I'll just either level up characters and level up professions and then just transfer, like just done, ready to rock and roll, or I'll just transfer a boatload of gold over to a new realm. I'd use all of my advantages to hit the ground running if I did it again on another realm. Draenor's pretty bad though. I have like a 4% profit to get sales. Hey, if you're doing 4% profit on, you know, 10 million gold a week, it adds up really quickly. This is the thing. If you focus on turnover, and you can focus on turnover on the big realms, if you're focused on turnover, it doesn't really matter too much about your profit. You'll still end up way ahead. Obviously, that same strategy is a little bit more difficult to implement on a slower realm. You kind of do need to make more on each sale, but this is why I like playing on the big servers, because I know if I craft something, I can probably sell it the same day if I wanted to. or just set up a gold-making empire across the realms. Well, that's another option. Another thing on my overall to-do list was to not necessarily get like stupid amounts of gold, but was to spread myself out a little bit further. Woo will be happy to hear. But I've been contemplating getting into the pet market for a long time, and I know I've baited that on stream like multiple times already. But it was one of my overall goals for Shadowlands, was to dive pretty deep into the pet market. But I equally don't know A, how much I want to do that, and B, I kind of don't know how public I want to be about doing that. And that's not to say that I'm hiding anything. It's just that it's one of those markets where every single additional person that does it is direct competition. Which yeah, I kind of don't know how I'm going to approach that. But that's a discussion for another day. Like getting subcontractors to make gold for you. That's basically how the boosting communities work. The boosting communities almost directly work by, you know, the ones that make the gold in the boosting communities are the ones that sit at the top of the tree, taking their 10% off every boost that happens, because they're the ones that are orchestrating it all. They're the ones that make mad level gold from boosting. And they are making filthy money. We're talking like 10 million gold a week, sort of filthy money. Competition's already 10x what it was in Legion. Wouldn't worry too much about that. Not exactly a trade secret anymore. Well, yeah, this is it. It's also a lot more viable for people to be doing it nowadays as well. Fuck pets, honestly. Takes ages to sell them. This is why it's all about scale. If you post 3 pets, yeah, it's going to take you 6 months to sell them, but you try and get yourself into a position where you're listing like the top 50 pets on like 50 different realms, then it's purely a numbers game that you're going to sell something every day. Should hire someone to cancel scan for me while I'm at work. That would also be another option. Child labour's a wonderful thing. To be 100% truthful, I wouldn't actually recommend it unless you're really going to throw yourself into it. It takes an absolute age to build up the thousands that you need to get good returns. The reason I would get the overall reason to why I'd want to get into the pet market though is because of that reason. The fact that it takes so long to really get anywhere with it. It's more of the long-term investment. Long-term investment in what I consider to be a relatively evergreen market. Even my approach of crafting nowadays is very much flavor of the month. I mean, Legos is quite literally flavor of the expansion. Come 10.0, there'll be a day where the legendary market will die like literally overnight, and I'm fully prepared for that to be a thing. Gold needed to fully set up pet arbitrage is a lot more than Legos, 10 mil per realm-ish, but I can't wait to get back to it once Legos is done. Yeah, I'm so ready for the Lego market to just disappear. I would be very happy to see the back of it completely, but... Your child will get a weekly allowance if they scroll on the mouse wheel for 6 hours a day. I think Child Protective Services might have something to say about that. but that's just a hint. I would probably go as far as to say there's a... That's borderline illegal, my friend. When you start with pets, it doesn't really need to be the high value pets. It can just be the 1 to 5k pets just to get liquidity. But then the gold per hour isn't great. Yeah, of course. But that's the thing, right? It's a... I would, like I said, I would see that as a lucrative market that equally has quite a high barrier to entry. Which is kind of, you know, that's the stage where I'm at with gold making. By the time Shadowland's done, I probably hope to be, I don't know, let's say we have a reasonable patch 9.2. I would kind of like to be at 100 million liquid gold by the end of Shadowlands. Now I know if 9.2, if we get an announcement of a new expansion quite soon, I don't actually have a lot of time to do that. Because like I said, I probably won't play patch 9.2 for all that long. I'm certainly not going to be playing it for 8 months. Let's put it that way. I'll probably play patch 9.2 for 2 or 3 months, and then I'll be, you know, hopefully I'll have a good reason to be doing something else. But if I can make, I don't know, 10 million a month from this point onwards, until I get bored and start doing something else, then I'll be in good position, I think, to be doing something a bit bigger and a bit bigger of a scale. Maybe. We'll see. Old timey go burr. Yeah, something along those lines. Would be fun to do some keys, gear up that hunter for 10.0 leveling. Yeah, see, that will become our focus at some point as well. It'll be like, well, we know 10.0 is coming out. We know that X, Y, and Z is going to be a thing. How do we get prepared for 10.0? In a weird way, I didn't really foresee this being a thing so much before I got into the whole content creation thing again. But I tend to find my busier times is in the run-up to new content. When that new content comes out, it's kind of like my holiday then. Because when the new content comes out, I've already covered everything. I try to cover most things before it goes live. So then when it's live, it's just time to play, right? It's just time to go out and do it. And then we're just waiting until there's the next PTR or the next beta or something. It's a good mentality to have because, you know, gold making is one of those markets where looking forward is really important. The more you can look forward to what's coming up, the greater advantage you usually give yourself. If you're always reacting to what's going on around you right now, you're already late to the party. This is why there's so much contention around all those YouTube farming videos. Because by the time Student Albatross tells you that there's a 100,000 gold an hour farm, 500 people have already done it, and then that 100,000 gold an hour farm is now 20,000 gold an hour, like literally overnight. Whereas if you're the one that knows about that 100,000 gold an hour farm and has, you know, a week or two's preparation ahead of time, you get the advantage. Now, I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to bother making all these clusters, because these clusters are just sat here. Realistically, these clusters are just here so that I have them ready for when I need to do some recrafting. I don't actually sell the clusters. It's at this point I could just, you know, call it quits on this and start crafting some legendaries. Or at least, in fact, you know what we're going to do is we're going to get some prospecting on the go. While we're selling all of these items, we can be prospecting in the background. Good old TSM never sending things properly. Let's grab a few stacks. Clear queue, default UI, prospecting, go gadget. Right, let's get that on the go. Loads of stuff to post, look. Full inventory worth of stuff to post. We're down to only 38,000 gold, though. We were at like 250 a minute ago. What's going on? Hang on, let's turn off this noise in the background. Too many sounds. Have we been selling stuff? Oh, we have been selling stuff, look. Oh, that's a nice one. Shadebound Greaves at item level 230 for 9k. Less than 5k crafting cost. That'll do. A few more of those would be nice. My dog is barking in her sleep again. Now she's running in her sleep. Dogs sleeping is funny. They're so active in their sleep, it's crazy. She's running in her sleep. Silly dog. The camera doesn't want to stay there. She's twitching. Are you saying I'm a dog? No. She's always been very hyperactive in her sleep. Don't you ever get the dreams where you're being chased or being chased by something? I don't really know who or what. It's rumored. Now I'm no psychologist, but it's rumored that's due to anxiety. And yes, I have had it. It doesn't happen all too often, but I have had the dreams where you're being chased by something and you're running away. Psychologists will probably try and tell you it's due to anxiety. I mean, I've woken up on the floor multiple times. I mean, I don't think I've ever gone that far. My nephew sleepwalks, which is funny. That could just be the wife kicking you out of bed. Yeah. There could be many reasons. Right, this is everything listed. Now we should have full inventory to sell again. Plenty of spare Dawn crafting stuff to relist as well. I'm single, live alone with no pets. Must be a ghost wife. Well, yeah, maybe. Hey, I told you those heavy desolate armor kits were worth crafting. Nearly 500 gold a piece. Damn, that'll do. That'll do. Right, how are we getting with our prospecting? Slow and steady. Slow and steady. Whilst we're doing that, we can start looking at what we're going to actually craft up. Now, I think it would make... Hang on, let's use TSM for this. I think that it probably makes sense to craft a few rank 3s. We've already got a rank 5 that we can't easily seem to sell at the moment. And even the rank 5 is a greater loss than that of the rank 3s. And we're taking more of a risk because we're crafting a vestige to make these. So, you know, we won't bother crafting any more of those. But the rank 3s is what we should probably craft a few of now. which, if we look at the rank 3, 16,000 gold crafting cost at face value. And they're selling for, I say selling, listed for Shadowgast Ring. Shadowgast Ring at rank 3 is currently listed for just under 8k. So yeah, about 8,000 gold loss on a rank 3 right now, which is not the worst situation. It could definitely be better, but it's not the worst situation. We are... How far are we through? We're 60 experience out of 225 in both the ring and the necklace. So we're getting there. We're getting there. Getting there slowly but surely. Do you need a profession skill max before being able to learn Crafter's Mark 3 in the Isle version? I don't actually know. I don't actually know what the skill requirements are for the Crafter's Marks. It takes literally 5 minutes and about 10,000 gold to max any profession nowadays, though. So, because you can just do it all standing at a vendor. So, save yourself the hassle in trying to work it out and just get the profession leveled up. 2 minutes on wow-professions.com will get your professions leveled up nice and quick. What are we selling in the background? Item level 87
Hello
weapons. Janity, welcome in. Good to see you. Takes a little bit longer if you don't prep your shopping list ahead of time. Yeah, true, but I mean, it's still literally, you can bang it out in like 10 minutes. Let's see where we're getting with this then. We're gonna need, if we queue up, let's queue up, let's see if we can get, how many essences do you need for a rank 3? Is it 25 a piece? We can probably prospect so that we can probably get 75 torments. If we can get 75 torments, we can do 3 of each. We've easily got the necks. We're just slightly short on the rings. So if I assume that we're going to craft 3 of these, let's queue that one up. Let's queue 3 necks as well. Oh, just starting up on a new server. I mean, literally in that scenario, then it's nothing more than an hour's worth of farming materials to cover the cost of leveling up a profession. Just had first driver's lesson. While I hope you A, stayed on the road, and B, managed to avoid grandma. Yeah, we need 4 more torments. 4 more torments. A bunch of ore to make some Shadowgast ingots. Some flux and some shards. 15k of arboreal shards. Yeah, that's not too bad. Let's just go buy a stack of ore then. Stack of each ore to make some shard. In fact, let's double check. Shadowgast ingots at 50 gold a piece. Now you see, in normal... if it wasn't Draenor, I'd just buy Shadowgast ingots straight up. Save me the hassle. But considering I'm already losing like filthy amounts of gold on each one of these, I kind of need to min-max the crafting cost a little bit. So maybe it is sensible for me to craft the ingots, even though there's not much of a price difference. So we need a stack of each. So let's go Oxane, Solanum, Phaedrum, Sinvit. Buy a stack of each of those. Let's send, what did we say? We needed some arboreal shards as well, didn't we? So if we send these over, and then let's also send our goblin like 20k to buy some vendor mats. That's taken. That's basically our moolah gone. Okay. Let's hope have we got. Okay, we still need a bunch of torment essences. But we've got loads of Leystrike to prospect to get those, so that shouldn't be a problem. Let's go get this flux and these shards then. 600 flux and 150 shards. I hope so too. I didn't see her after she vanished below the car. Poor grandma. What's the normal price for an ingot? I mean, there's not really such thing as a normal price for an ingot, but they cost, on Draenor at least at the moment, they cost about 35 gold to make, whereas they're selling for 50. That 15 gold premium, I'm usually happy to pay for somebody else to craft them for me, and I just, you know, build it into my profit margins. But on Draenor, the items that I'm crafting right now, I'm already losing a whole bunch of gold even crafting them in the first place. So it's damage limitation to craft them myself. Now I need some flux. Oh dear, oh dear. I really need to change the change the auctioning value of these. Selling a desolate leather vest for 100 gold is really the most useless thing I could have possibly done. It cost me 82 gold to make the damn thing, and I sold it for 100. I really should go in and adjust those, because that's, you know, I mean, sure, profit's profit, but that's seriously not. Massive 17 gold profit, exactly. Massive profits there. That's how we make the big bucks. Ingots go. So they're making now. We can prospect a little bit more for the essences, and then we should be good for a few more rank 3s. We're getting there. We're getting there. It's a slow and steady process, but we are getting there. My novice crafter's mark gears, minimum 100 gold profit, or it doesn't get made. Yeah, it's I should tweak that a little bit. Wish we could include deposit fees in the operation. Some people do. You can technically, kind of, but it's all a little bit. In my opinion, it's just overcomplicating the operation when you do it. There are some people out there that try to min-max their operations to the nth degree. I try my best to keep my operations as simple as possible, because I think the more complexity you add into it, I don't think it actually adds any benefit to you. Most people try and put so much emphasis on min-maxing their minimum prices for things. When you think about it in reality, the last thing you want to be doing is listing it at your minimum price anyway. You, in theory, want to be listing it considerably higher. Your minimum price just should be like, right, I definitely don't want to sell it for this. And so I tend to see quite frequently people min-maxing their operations more than I think is necessary. If you're that close to your minimum price on a regular basis, you probably shouldn't be in that market anyway. You should be probably looking for something that's more worth your while. Your minimum price should be something quite simple. You just pick a value that's, you know, is actually your minimum. You don't want to make any less than this and then move on. It doesn't need to be that complicated. You know, just slap in 120% crafting and be done with it, you know. That leaves room for, the 5% auction house cut. It leaves room for, you know, listing it 20-30 times. That should be good. Keep it simple and move on. The whole point of using Trade School Master and using operations is that you don't have to micromanage everything. You know, you set a rule and then you craft in mass. It's all about scaling with Trade School Master. If you're flipping lots of transmog, it's worth having the deposit factored into your operations. Yeah, transmog is a market where it's a little bit more worthwhile because, of course, you tend to find there's quite high deposit fees on crafted gear generally, especially if it's transmog that you might not expect it to sell until you've listed it like 30, 40, 50 times. Gotta love Kiss. Yeah, keep it simple. Honestly, just keep it simple. And that's the thing. Your minimum is the minimum. Like, you should set a floor price that you're happy with, and then, you know, focus more so on repeating that process for as many different items as you're willing to deal with. The rank 3s and 4s that I build with Vestiges don't have a crafting price from TSM. So I just made a group called Vestige with a minimum price of the Vestige plus 1k-ish. So I hard-coded 30k gold. Can't be bothered to program real groups for that. You see, that's a good example, right? That's a good example. As long as you know that this is roughly what you're happy with, just bang it out. Like, to spend too much time min-maxing on that is probably not worth it, because you'll eventually unlock them properly and then can just use a normal operation. Right, is that our Shadowghast ingots done? Our Shadowghast ingots are done. Beautiful. Let's get a little bit more prospecting done. We need 4 more essences. And then, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, we are making good progress on Draenor. We have once again seen dizzying record high liquid gold values, and we have also spent nearly all of it in a single stream. Hot damn. Oh, 7. Oh, we're there already. Beautiful. Right. 3 rank 3s. Rank 3 rings. Do you think TSM will support rank 7 at 9.2 launch? Do you want my honest answer or the official answer? I don't think it will. If I'm honest, I don't think it will. In theory, the way that they've set up the Vestiges and the optional reagents should mean that any new variations of them, it's a relatively easy thing for them to implement them. But the optional reagents feels like such a hack job into, like, crowbarred into the add-on. The add-on wasn't really built to facilitate optional reagents and all this sort of stuff. You got to remember that it was only in patch 9.1 that we had any support for legendaries at all, which has given me overall the expectation that I don't expect it to work when it first launches. No, I would obviously love to see day one. I would love to see full 100% day one support of everything, but that's unrealistic, I think. I want to believe that Sapio is secretly goal making with Legos and thus doesn't want to implement the Lego feature to reduce competition. I want to believe that the TSM devs even play the game. Never mind never mind that they're gold making, or equally they're in the legendary market. I would love to believe that they even play World of Warcraft. I am almost convinced that they don't. So I think they continue updating the add-on purely because there's such a high demand for them to do so. I'm very convinced that the passion is gone. Sapu seems to still quite enjoy tinkering with things and playing with things, but I'm quite sure the passion that was once there for creating the add-on is not there anymore. Right, these rings should get listed now. These necks should get listed now. Oh boy, 225 necks are cheap. All right, well, whatever. If we sell them, we sell them. If we don't, we don't. But that, in theory, now is about as much progress as we can make on Draenor, because we have no gold, no monies, no monies. We can't sell these rank 2s to save our life right now. We've got a couple of rank 3s. I would recraft rank 1s because we've managed to sell through all of our rank 1 rings and necks. But the XP, the loss per XP is pretty high on these. So I'd rather try and focus on selling some of these rank 3s. Even though the loss is bigger, the fact that we gain 15 experience every time we craft one of these. 15 experience for 8,000 gold is better than 5 experience for 6,000 gold, so and eventually we'll unlock rank 4s, where we can then compete for 0 profit margins in rank 4s and in turn rank 6s as well. I don't mind the fact that the profits appear to be like minuscule over here. It's absolutely fine for me. I really don't mind, because now is not the time where you're going to cash cow on rank 4s and 6s anyway. I'm covering the cost of leveling up as I go, making it so that I'm not reliant on big rank 4 and rank 6 sales to cover the cost of my leveling. I'm covering the cost of leveling by crafting in other markets. My item level 200 and my item level 230 markets is what's bankrolling my leveling of legendaries right now. Now eventually we'll unlock enough rank 4s and enough rank 6s that we will make profit on those to help bankroll the the rest of the leveling of legendaries. It kind of snowballs once you get going. That's the plan, at least. But now, at least on Draenor, we are purely in a situation where we're just waiting on things to sell. 20k worth of stuff sold since we did our restock, so that's not too bad at all. Couple of 100k worth of sales in the next few days, and we should be good. We might now be able to put Draenor to bed for a little while. In fact, we've got no gold, but we've also still got like 30k worth of ley strikes still to work through. What I probably should do, is just get this prospected. There's no point not. Let's get that on the go. Maybe what I should do actually is then check Sylvanas. We should now have an entire mailbox full of expired auctions to relist over here. Yesterday made WoW history. My engineering battle res backfired twice back to back. Oh dear. Isn't there like only a 10% chance that thing backfires anyway? I thought that the chance of it backfiring is actually pretty slim. To do it back to back, that's sad face. It's 1% as far as I know. Really? Is it really that low? Oh my god. The 1% of the 1%. My days. That's impressive. Well done. Yes, here we go. 276 expireds to relist. That's what we're talking about. Nobody in the history of anybody has ever got that excited to see expired auctions. I've used it hundreds over the expansion and never once had it backfire. Really? Oh god. Oh, that's quite funny. Right, whilst this mailbox fills up, I'm going to quickly go grab a drink. I'll be back in 2 minutes, boys and girls. Never press the add button. Sorry, I forget. I'm not used to people telling me to press the add button. It's a weird situation for people to want to see ads. How am I meant to convince you to press that sub button if everybody wants to see ads in the first place? God damn. Right, let's get all of these relisted. Let's hope that we're at least going to be competitive on price on some of these. Below min posting at normal. I don't want to see that too often. I don't mind if it happens occasionally. But I don't want to see it too often. Above max posting at max. That's a fun one. What's going on there? Bone Shatter Waistguard. Oh, of course. the 0.3% of the player base.
Let's make sweet, sweet profit together.
EYY, I have Elrona so you know. Yay me.
Oh no! Derp's got the Ronas. Ah, rest up, my man, rest up. Appreciate the sub. 8 months. Good effort. Rest up. Get back into bed. Stop playing WoW. I wish you the best, my man. I'm still quite lucky. I don't think. Well, I'm actually somewhat convinced I had Corona before it was fashionable. I think before it all officially popped off, there was the February before the world went mad. I got really, really ill for about a week, which is super rare for me. So I kind of have a suspicion that that might have been it. I had hipster Corona. But since it's been, you know, a big thing, I've managed to avoid it. What you do that for, Dumbo? Oh dear. Nice to see Ginny's got all of the sympathy there. What do you go get Rona for, Dumbo? Patients at my work infected me. Yeah, that's bad news. It's bad news. Patient zero. Oh, no, I don't think I was patient zero. I did not have relationships with that bat. See, people suck. Yeah. Other humans? Nah. Stay inside, play video games. Far safer. See? Gamers that don't leave the house, we're the real heroes right now. We're the real heroes. I wonder if the guy regrets making bat soup now. I don't think he regrets anything. He's probably dead, right? Grimvale Mittens, 19 gold, mad profits. That's the, gonna get rich off those rank 1 Grimvale Mittens. That's got to be one of the most... Surely the Mittens is one of the most, most leveled up ones now, I'd imagine. Tailoring, cheap. Mittens, meta. It's the stars aligning for people to start getting into. If you don't want the horses and the misses, I'll take them off your hands. Right, there we go. That didn't take too long. That didn't take too long. Are we now... Okay, 4 hours until a whole bunch of stuff expires. How far did I get with my cancel scan on Legos? I don't think I even completed my cancel scan on Legos over here. I think I was slacking. I need a caretaker while I'm sick. We can talk what we do after. Oh dear. Oh dear. Funny thing, I forgot I had gold cap locked away in a bank. There's only one thing better than accidentally finding gold cap just lying about. It's when you find that random £5 note in a pair of jeans that you've not worn for 6 months. That's a good feeling. That's a good feeling. When you put that jacket on that you've not worn since last winter, there's a cheeky note in it. Yeah. That's always a bonus. That makes a day a good day. Was that literally the only 4, 5s and 6s we were cancelling on? Wow. All fun and games until you find an expired note. Well, if you're finding expired notes in your clothes, you need to change your clothes more often. But yeah, you're right. Gold dilemma. Mission table is free gold versus I don't think mission tables are worth my time. That's the ultimate dilemma, you know. Every time I talk about the mission table, I get so many different opinions on it. Some people absolutely swear by it, and you know, it's literally in their eyes the best way that they can physically be making gold. Yet there's the other category of people that won't touch it with a barge pole. And it seems very interesting to me. I mean, you've got people like Zanzafall that are deliberately leveling up like 50 characters just to milk the mission table for everything that it's got. Because it's one of those that once it's set up, once you've got it set up, it's just cash cow. But it's really annoying to set up, which I think is the problem, right? still like 5 minutes a character. Yeah, it's so quick and easy once you've got it done. I'd rather have the Rona than set up the mission tables on multiple characters. Hey, well, you're in luck. You're in luck. Right, I think that is about all we need to do over here. Do I dare look? Actually, what I can look at is how are we doing on Legos. There's a couple of rank 6 tailoring pieces I should probably recraft. Also, I'm low on Shadowgast rings. Both 4s and 6s. But I don't think there's enough missing for me to be too bothered about doing a restock today. Let's take a quick glance at mats and see if there's any mats that I want to get my hands on. Shrouded cloth is at vendor prices again. Well, well, well. Vendor shuffle prices on shrouded cloth. Pallid bones are sensibly priced but not cheap. Exotic leather is the same. Desolate leather, sorry. Leystrite at 7 gold, believe it or not, is actually not the worst price on this realm. Oh, but there isn't any at that price, okay. Soul dust at 10. I made a bunch of soul dust the other day. Where did it all go? Have I used it already? God. I make soul dust for like 4 gold a piece. But it still absolutely kills me to spend time crafting this stupid stuff. None of this ore really takes my fancy. Sinvir at 21 is not tragically bad. Although, once again, there's not a huge amount of it. Nah, we'll leave it. Lightless silk still insisting on being 27 gold a piece. I'm wondering if there's something that I'm missing. I'm wondering if there's some shuffle on Lightless silk that I don't know about that's keeping the price at this point. Or whether it's just being massively manipulated. I'm not spending 2.2 million gold on Lightless silk just to buy it all out though. Dread somebody buying my stuff because that means I have to recraft. Yeah, I'd rather keep a lot of the stuff until 9.2 launches and then I'll sell it for twice the price. I'm not spending 2.2 million on Lightless silk. It's not happening. Heavy Desolate at 32. That is outrageously cheap. Oh, once again, there's not really actually any of it at 32. That's why. Even 35 is cheap, to be fair. For as long as somebody wants to turn Desolate Leather into Heavy Desolate Leather for 0 price, I will continue to buy it. Callus at 43. Nah, not interested in Callus at 43. Shadowgast ingots at 63. I've got a fair amount of them, but I'm crafting these things at like 40 gold. Oh, once again, there isn't actually any wealth like that then. Heavy Callus at 420. Blaze it. This is another one that I kind of want to stock up on this stuff. Because I know I'm going to need it.
Let's
in
make sweet profit together.
Stupid quantities. Mirage with the Prime Gaming, thank you very much. Sorry, Dr. Mirage, to give you your... you didn't go to medical school for 10 years for me to... Thank you very much for the Prime Gaming, appreciate it. How can you see who is able to craft a certain legendary? Heard you talking about it earlier. I don't know. I don't know what you mean. I mean, their name is listed next to the listing on the auction house. Not if you use TSM, but if you use the default UI, you can just see who's listing them. Oh, unless you mean the fact that we were using data for Azeroth. There's a website called Data for Azeroth, which is tracks how much of the player base has certain recipes. That might be what you mean. I'm not sure. Thanks for the effort to help us, little goblins. Hey, you're very welcome. Appreciate it. Do I want to spend 500,000 gold again on Heavy Callous Hide just so I've got some? Going into tomorrow, it's probably not the worst idea. Although I'm also aware that Heavy Callous Hide is considerably more expensive on my realm than it is anywhere else. Perfect time for a bit of a plug. Yeah, I know. I'm not so good at the plug-in. Ah, Fui. It's a good price. God damn, there's another 700k on Heavy Callous Hide. Sure. Have you tested the Callous Hide drop rates in Zereth Mortis? Not in great detail, but we did a little bit of skinning over in Zereth Mortis, but we weren't focused on like the regular leathers. I was more focused on how easy or where we get the new stuff from, the protogenic pelt, of which we very quickly came to the conclusion that that only really drops in any frequency off the rares in Zereth Mortis, not so much off the regular mobs. But nothing felt particularly different with the drop rates over there. So I would still go as far as to say that Desolate Leather's going to be a good little money maker. Do I need any more Korthite crystals? I already have nearly 4,000 of them, but that's really not a lot. That's really not a lot at all. Although my smart average buy price currently is still just shy of 800 gold. It's my smart average buy price seems to be doing nothing but go up and up and up and up and up on these things, and I never seem to be able to have enough of them. Sure, I've got nearly 4,000 of them currently, but that's like a few days worth of sales. It's not what I would consider a stockpile. It's more like the bare minimum I need to continue recrafting. If, for example, based on how many legendaries we have in stock at the moment, there's 35 different items. So there's 35 different legendaries that I have access to all of them. So 35, I stock 5 of every rank 6. No. 5 of every rank 6. Hang on, so 35 times 5 is 175. So I should have 175 rank 6s. I've only got 132. So if I minus off 132, that means I'm at a deficit of 43 rank 6s currently, to where I like to keep my inventory at. 43 multiplied by 40 to give me an indication to how many Korthite crystals I need is 1,720 crystals to restock back up to full inventory. So half of what I currently have in terms of Korthite crystals, basically half of what I have is needed just to restock back up to where I like to be. So I've maybe got a few days worth of Korthite crystals. It's really disgusting how difficult it is to get access to these things. Right, but I equally at the same time don't particularly want to spend millions of gold on materials again every day. I need to go a few days where I don't spend millions of gold on materials. I really need to stop spending like an absolute madman. What I do want to do now though, for the last maybe hour or so of the stream, is I want to get a bit of work done on the spreadsheet. I'm happy with how I have Dawn crafting laid out now. I'm happy with the layout of having both the vestiges here, and I like this crafting method. This is the thing I need to build into the other professions. I like this. I didn't think, I mean, at one point I wasn't even going to include this in the spreadsheet, but I actually really like this. Showing that, or emphasizing, I should say, people kind of know this, but they don't really, there's no add-on out there that easily makes this information available, so people kind of forget it. But by the time we have the new vestige, there's actually going to be 3 different methods of creating a rank 4 legendary. And in turn, each different method is going to have its own individual price. And so in theory, if you're restocking rank 4 legendaries, you should be crafting it using the cheapest method. But, like I said, there's not any easy way to work out, well, what is that cheapest method? So in comes the spreadsheet, saving the day. So I want to implement this crafting method thing on some of the others. But I need to make it all look sort of, you know, neat and tidy and uniform. So I'm going to start with cloth. I've already put the new vestiges, I think, on the things. I need to get rid of this from the bottom. This is not needed anymore. I need to change the blurb at the top here. I need to add a row here. This needs to be deleted, and that needs to be copy pasted from here. There we go. So it's now got the updated information on how to do things. That's the first thing we need to do. Now, the difference here is that for rings and necks, there's only... I mean, I've been able to break it down quite literally to the ring and the neck. Now, I'm not going to have this 9 times, but I will still need it 3 times. Can I... Is it going to work if I just cut? It's probably not, is it? Whoa, 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 relax. That's meant to go there. Okay, that really can't move much anyway. Okay, right. I was hoping you'd be able to see it all in one screen, but maybe not. Crafting method, yep, cool. Then we go... Yeah, I know this is all wrong. This is going to then be tier 1 crafts, which is, for tailoring, is actually braces and cape. What in the world is going on here? Oh, right, I see. Yeah. What's that referencing? That's referencing something completely wrong. That's meant to be referencing this number, which is D26. That should be D33. I really wonder if rank 6 will be completely irrelevant due to crafting costs once the backlog of Korthite crystals has been sold and used. I really don't think there is a backlog of Korthite crystals. I can't buy enough of them. On most of the high pop servers, you physically can't even buy enough of them, never mind there being a backlog. A backlog just doesn't exist on Korthite crystals. It'd be nice if they did, but they just don't. Yeah, the simple fact that there's going to be like basically nobody in Korthia once 9.2 launches is going to have a pretty big effect, I think, on the Korthite crystal supply. Oh, I've done it that way. That's how I've done it. Okay. So it's actually the cost of this. So it's D46. No, it's not. It's D40 plus this plus V26. At this point, it might just be easier for me to delete these and make these again, so I make sure I get them right. It's a little bit like Bitcoin speculation. Yeah, other than Bitcoin speculation is nothing more than speculation at the best of times. At least with Korthite crystals, we can apply some logic to the situation. So a rank 6 is a rank 4 plus that normally. And let's make those fixed locations. And a rank 7 is a rank 4 plus this. No, plus this. Let's get that right. That's crucial. Just going to delete these and hard code them in again. A rank 1 plus a 2, so equals this plus that equals a 2 plus a 2 equals a 2 plus a 3 equals a 3 plus a 3. There was me thinking this was going to be a simple just copy paste a Rooney, and yeah, not so much. We've actually got some stuff to do on these. Hopefully though, once this is all done, my plan at least is for this to be a lot more informative for people trying to level up their Legos. It concerns me just how much work I'm putting into this, considering, you know, halfway through patch 9.2, nobody will give a damn about this anymore, but, you know, what are you going to do? It was a rank 1 plus a rank 3. I never expected my cheat sheet to end up in the hands of so many people though, so I kind of feel obliged to keep it up to date. putting in all this work just for your competition. There's an element of that, but at the same time, I'm really not that bothered. It's all good. It's all good. Just put in some Zygon links. I mean, it is literally linked at the top of every one, you know. All my socials are linked here already, so I don't need affiliate links on top of this. Right, so that's going to be tier 1 crafts, braces and capes. We need... the problem is are these still correct? These should actually all still be correct. Because this should just copy paste. Yeah, this should all copy paste nicely actually. Yep. Cool. So that's going to be tier 1. We can, at least in theory, go, right, tier 2. So tier 2 crafts, which are belt, gloves, boots, and shoulders. Oh god, no, now all of these are actually wrong. Okay, those are wrong. Let's do those again then. Do you think right out of the gate selling the Pog Essence will be more profitable than crafting legendaries? Probably not. Probably not, because the simple logic of the fact that whatever you think that you could sell, whatever you think you could sell a Pog Essence for, you could probably value it at twice that when selling the legendary. So probably not. But we don't know. I mean, we know so little about these progenitor Essentias at this point. I've not been able to find them very easily. They do come through farming, but they seem to be incredibly rare even through farming. There's still some big question marks on those. I'm wondering if this... I know it's a lot of effort now, but I'm wondering if this would be better suited at the bottom of these lists rather than off to the sides. I don't know. Shouldn't it be cost in most places where it says price? I don't think it makes in this scenario. I don't think it makes a huge difference. Yeah, cost is usually more used for... Yeah, price is often more referred to what something is priced at. Yeah, you might be right. Grammatically, I think you might be right on that one. But it's a lot of effort for me to change it, so I'm not going to bother. If you want the honest answer. It's a lot of effort, so I'm not going to bother. Right, so rank 1 option on a tier 2 is here. Let's get all of the numbers in first, and then I can fix them. A rank 5 is a 3 plus that equals 4 plus a 2 equals a 4 plus a 3. And we have equals a 1 plus a 2 equals a 2 plus a 2 2 plus a 3 equals a 3 plus a 3. Beautiful. Beautiful. Equals a 1 plus a 3. That's the final one. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. Control H, find and replace. Yeah, but then there's some places where it probably should be. Yeah, yeah, but no. Yeah, but no. Done for the night. Good luck and enjoy, everybody. Thanks, Saigon. Appreciate the help today. Thank you very much. Sleep well. We'll have a few weeks where the essences can be farmed before the Legos can be made. Should give a good steer on availability and price. Yeah, there is. There's the fact that literally day one people should in theory be able to find, farm, sell these progenitor Essentias will mean that we'll start seeing them hit the auction house like almost instantly. Yet there will in theory at least be no actual true demand for them until people have unlocked the rank 7 legendaries. Or at least have access to the new Vestige, I should say, actually. So there will be a kind of a grace period for the prices of these to show themselves. You can name cells and ranges to the left of the FX to make formulas a bit easier to read. Yeah, I thought about doing that a bunch. That's something I use in Excel a whole bunch. Not something that I've really, done too much of on this, though. There's lots of shortcuts that I've taken with this cheat sheet that I probably shouldn't have taken, but I have, so... like I said, I never expected this cheat sheet to be in the hands of quite so many people. So it's kind of been a bit of a hack job throughout its life, but it works, so it's fine. What I should, though, do is remember to hard code these in case I do actually move this anywhere, which is probable. I don't know what the technical term is for putting these dollar signs all over the place, I just know what it does. It's some fixed location rather than relative location or something. I don't know what the terms are. I don't know. Whoa. Let's not lose connections and do reconnections halfway through, please. Absolute references. I mean, that sounds fancy enough that it could be true. That could be correct. Can we do some reconnects, please, Google? Hello? Relative versus absolute cell referencing. Well, there we go. We got pros in the chat. I don't know the technical terms. I just know what it does. Although I would really like if it would come back to life. Hey, Google. Fix your shit. I learnt it from Google when trying to find out how to do it in Excel. Yeah. Sorry, I did not understand that. Sorry, I do not know how to fix my shit. Oh, it's died on me. We're too clever for it. Google's not having any of this. You know, the really annoying thing now is it's if it loses some data, I'm gonna be real pissed. Do I dare press the reload button? Let's just reload. Yeah, sure, fine. Give me the most. Give me what you've got. No, it's completely fucked. Hang on. Hang on. Earth to Google. Come in, Google. Right, where did it get to? That's done, that's done. There we go. Right, that's where we got to. I do have the tendency to move these sections about, which is why I do this. Because if you don't, then all of the formulas get funky when you move the grid. Beautiful. beautiful. So that should be tier 2. I've been trying to figure out a good way to link cells together, so changing one changes the value in another. Yeah, that would be really helpful. I would very much like a genius to work out how that can be the case. I'm sure they're probably... See, that's one of those things that's probably easy to do in Excel, but maybe not so easy to do in Google. Because obviously, you know, Google Sheets is a heavily trimmed down version. Yeah, that's only a one-way link though. Yeah, you're right. I'd want it so that I could change the value in either box. It's almost like you want a parent. You kind of want a parent formula, and then just a, you know, a normal value in the box. I'm sure there's smart ways. I'm sure you probably do that more so by actually linking two. I don't know. There's probably a way to do it. I haven't given it that much thought. Right, let's rename this because this is tier 3 crafts. So that's going to be, what are tier 3 crafts? It's going to be helm, pants, and chest. Right, rank 1 equals this one. Rank 2 is this one. Rank 3, this one. Rank 4 is that one. 3 plus a 2. Oh, hang on. 3 plus a 2. A 4 plus a 2. Oh, cock, I've done it again. I really need to be careful I don't balls these up. Rank 1 plus a 2. What's this? A 2 plus a 2. 2 plus a 2. It's way too many different ways to craft things nowadays, my god. Or at least there will be once 9.2 launches anyway. Most of this isn't applicable yet, but it's handy to know for the future. Right, there we go. Now let's go through and drop in some dollars. So I'm aware this is probably not the most engaging stream content, but to some people it's interesting to see the behind the scenes of how this things work. And it's something I need to do at some point anyway, so I might as well bring you guys along for the journey. Not to mention, you guys come to my rescue quite frequently when I don't know the answer to something. Which is a lot. Oh my god, what's going on here? Which is a lot of the time. Did I do that one? I did. Woohoo! Right, so that's that I think is that. Hang on. Let's just put that down there. That I think is. Oh no, hang on. We need to fix this business down here. Let's just go. This we just canned all of it, didn't we? We just got rid of all of that. We then, what did we do? What did we do? Oh, we just did it like this. Okay. Which one were we doing? Cloth. Rank 5, cheaped method. Man, they're going to be making some monies on TikTok with Google Sheet vids. Oh god, no. Google says you need to use macros and VBA scripts though, which sounds like a lot of work. Yeah, we're not going to start using VBA scripts unless we absolutely have to. Right, so cheapest method to make a rank 5 on this is going to be equals to... Oh, hello, what's going on here? That's not what we meant to do at all. Back it up, back it up. Cheapest way to make a rank 5 is going to be this box here. Cheapest way to make a rank 6 is going to be this one. Cheapest way to make a rank 7 is going to be that one. And then the prices for such is going to be this box here. Cheapest way to make a rank 5, cheapest way to make a rank 6, cheapest way to make a rank 7. Beautiful. New YouTube channel, a keyboard ASMR whilst fiddling with sheets. Just a matter of time before you dress into lingerie and lick microphones. Do I look like Amaranth? Let's not answer that one. What about the math teacher on Pornhub that makes 36,000 a month? Hey? What? What? Hang on. Hang on. That took a twist. Real quickly. What's going on here? All he does is do the maths lessons and puts them on Pornhub? Really? But why? But not... Okay, okay. Ad revenue for an adult website is like trash. Just put them on YouTube. Ad revenue's far better on YouTube. Like, literally by a factor of 10. Alright, sure. Sorry, mate, you're not quite as hot as she is. Close second, though. There is a market for everything, I would agree. Post-nut clarity. Oh god. For when you really need help with your maths homework. Oh dear. Hey, if it works, whatever works. Don't discriminate. Oh, why is this a different colour? No. Right, I think, although it's kind of annoying me that this ends up all the way down the bottom here, this is then not very easy to see in relative terms to this, which is the only thing that's making me think that maybe I put this options thing at the bottom here. But we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4 columns for this, and I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns to fit this, which means it's not going to fit nicely without me doing some serious formatting, jiggery pokering, which I don't particularly think is going to make the whole thing look very good. That's annoyed. It's annoying me that I can't see it all in one go. How do I fix that? How do I fix that? I guess there is just, you know, a simple statute of limitations to how much you can fit on the screen at one go. Zoom out. Squint. You know. Well, it's about as formatted as the best it's going to be, I think. It's about as good as it gets. I could move this down into the box and then that frees it. I don't know. Nah, it's all good. If you're in full screen, at least you see it over here. It's fine. It's fine. Is there even a zoom? There is actually a zoom. There we go. There we go. Fixed it. Fixed it. 50% zoom. That's how we do it. You can't read any of the text, but at least you can see it all. Leave it on 75. Just tell you what, viewers to use an ultra wide. All that. I can't leave it on 90 because otherwise you can't see it on stream. I have to be zoomed in at least 100 for the text to even. I mean, in fact, unless you've got me on full screen anyway, the text is probably not legible. Either way. Well, anyway. The fact that it says cheapest meth, I need to make that not a thing. Hang on. Oh, but that column is just narrow. Okay, it's just going to say cheapest meth then. It just is. It should say cheapest method, but it should say cheapest method. There we go. There we go. Bit of a side business. It's quite some side business. Although it did alright for Walter White, didn't it? Well, spoiler alert, it didn't eventually, but... Are we still within the realms of spoilerific for Breaking Bad? I think it's been long enough now, right? Is that all the changes I need to make for me to consider it done? think that is everything. I think that's everything for tailoring, and I think it looks alright, and I think it makes sense, and I think it works. Once you get new values for protofiber and pog essence, bang it in, then the sheet does the maths for you, and that's kind of the point. One thing I did think about is actually moving these down and putting Cawthite crystals at the top here to emphasize like patch 1 materials, patch 2 materials, and patch 3 materials, but it's just, you know, it's just one of those. It's just one of those, isn't it? I think that looks fine. Reminds me when I had a tutor make a rude comment on standing back to check people can see that the PowerPoint is clear. She didn't like my response. It was lovely and clear on my 32-inch gaming monitor. Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, I haven't quite got as far with the spreadsheet as I was kind of planned, but isn't that always the way? I've at least got cloth, and I've at least got jewel crafting done right now. So I'm less than halfway. I've got to do it for leather, I've got to do it for mail, and I've got to do it for plate. I'll bang that out whilst I'm, like later on today, I think. Or at the very least, in the near future. But I think I'm probably going to leave it there for today, boys and girls. I'm starting to get hungry, so I'm going to go get me some food. It's reset day tomorrow, so it should be a good day to make some gold tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure what the plans are. I'm kind of winging it a little bit at the moment on a day-by-day basis, just kind of doing whatever it is we need to do to get prepared for 9.2. We often will get surprised with a PTR update or something, so I'm trying to not plan anything in too aggressively for the streams. But like I said, I like to keep the stream very sort of casual. I don't like it to turn too much into a show or into you know, anything too structured and organized. But thank you all for joining once again today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. We'll continue with this at some point. Yeah. Oh, we've even been logged out in the background. Well, there we go. All the more reason to go get some food. Enjoy the rest of your day, boys and girls. Have a good one. Relax. Don't stress. And derp if you're still kicking about. Get well soon, my man. We'll catch you all up in a bit. Peace.